Whatever Jim Lefebvre, the hitting coach, has been selling to the young Reds, Adam Dunn and company have been buying. After a series sweep of Milwaukee, the Reds put up not 10, not 20, but 30 runs in the 3-game sweep. They have a 3.5-game lead in the Central. Tonight, Tony La Russa continues to scratch his head for offense and pitching. He turns the ball over to a rookie next on Fox Sports Net. Live from a beautiful Synergy Field in Cincinnati, Fox Sports Net presents Cincinnati Reds baseball. Tonight, the first meeting of the season, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Hi, hello, and welcome to the Queen City, everybody. Along with the crafty left-hander Chris Welch, I'm George Grand. When these two teams meet the first time of the year, you expect over the last couple of years that it would be the Cardinals who are in first place and the Reds struggling to stay in it. Not that way as we meet tonight.
Well, that's what all the professional prognosticators thought. The Cardinals would be the team to beat in this division, and they still may be, George, but right now they are hurt bad. They're not hitting the ball well. They're certainly not pitching very well, mainly because a lot of the guys are on the DL.
Let's take a look at it from two sides. First, the Reds side. From a standpoint of the offense, the Reds have been clicking 30 runs in this 3-game sweep of Milwaukee. Adam Dunn's been big.
You know, for all the woes on offense when the Reds are on the road, they've made up for it lately. Adam Dunn is the hottest of all, 6 for 9, a couple of home runs, 11 RBIs in that series against Milwaukee. The Reds as a team, 30 runs and a .355 batting average. When you run into a team that hot as a pitcher, that's the kind to keep the ball down the strike zone and hope your team scores a lot of runs. The Brewers didn't do that.
Speaking of pitching, that's been the Cardinals' bugaboo. The injury bug has really hit them big time. Dave Duncan, Tony La Russa have been scrambling to find starters. All you have to do is take a look at the numbers, the statistics, and you see why.
Well, no longer is it a 5-man rotation in St. Louis. How about 11? Yeah, they used 9 all last season. At this point last year, the Cardinals had only used 5. So now the shoe is on the other foot, Tony La Russa. You're going to be the one that has to kind of make shift your starting rotation, try to send guys out there that are not proven major leaguers, and that's exactly what the Reds have in front of them tonight.
First of the season between these two teams, Tony La Russa and company ready to take on the Reds. We'll be back with lineups and more from Synergy Field after these messages. On Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. By Biggs, the home of the true minimum price. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. By Provident Bank, your place for winning advice. By the Ohio Lottery. Besides the big jackpot, Mega Millions has 8 other winning prize levels, so play Mega Millions. Odds are you'll have fun. By your local Dodge dealer, grab life by the horns. And by Skyline Chili. Game time or any time when you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Skyline Chili, the official chili of the Cincinnati Reds.
What a great night to be at the ballpark tonight. Dry weather finally across the area. I expect clear skies. Temperatures right around the 60-degree mark at the start of the game, and we'll have light winds. From the forecasters at 9 News, I'm Channel 9 Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus.
Back at a sunny Synergy Field, let's check the Chevrolet starting lineup for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. Headed up by Jimmy Edmonds, who'll bat 4th today. Vigna, the leadoff hitter, one of the best trigger setters in the league. J.D. Drew bats 2nd. Pujols behind him, and then the big guy, Edmonds. Tino Martinez has been struggling. Renteria, Matheny, Polanco, and Simontachi, the pitcher, bats in the number 9 position. Tony La Russa says, yeah, Tino's been struggling, but he's helped them defensively.
Well, I just think, I don't think he pays a lot of attention that Mark was there before. I just think, he's a real winner, and he wants to help us win. It's a brand new situation, so he's trying to prove to teammates and fans and that he's doing everything. I'll tell you, he's playing great defense. He's hit the ball better than his average. There's no doubt that he's trying to make an impression, and he'll relax more and more and do more and more.
Tony La Russa, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. Our G pitching matchup. Jimmy Haynes will get the ball for the Reds. 6 starts, 2-4 record. The ERA just under 5. Against the Cardinals, he's pitched pretty well. Against Jason Simontachi, the youngster who came up, pitched well in his first start. His ERA is under 3. The way things have gone for the St. Louis Cardinals team, 7 pitchers are on the disabled list. 6 of them are starters. That tells you the story about why the Cardinals are where they are in the Central Division. Where are we? We're at Synergy Field. The Reds will try to keep the win streak going after this.
20-pounder, the big right-hander Jimmy Haynes will come at you like this with a curveball. That's his best pitch. Tries to get it straight over the top. He's a guy that will give up a lot of hits. He doesn't have a lot of strikeouts, and he's had a lot of base runners so far this year. He averages about 4.5 base runners every 9 innings. But a guy that knows how to pitch. He was brought over here to Cincinnati as an innings eater, and he has been just that, fashioning so far a 2-4 record.
Got a little bit of time, so let's check our forward defensive alignment for the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds come in 13th in the league in defense. The Cardinals 8th coming into this 3-game set. Adam Dunn will play first today. Sean Casey gets the day off, still nursing the hamstring and the shoulder difficulties. Walker's at second. Larkin and Boone on the left side of the infield. Kearns will play over and left today. Ruben Mateo will get the start in right. And of course, Juan Encarnacion is in center. Jason LaRue behind the plate for Cincinnati. That's your forward defensive alignment. So Dunn at first tonight. He's been taking ground balls all year long, and I guess if you were to say what is the one position you'd pencil him in for at the major league level, it probably would be a first baseman, Chris, but he's adapted very well to the outfield.
Well, good thing he does, because the Reds have a pretty good first baseman over there right now, although not playing tonight, is Sean Casey.
But Dunn gets us started first, and this is an offensive lineup that will probably try to test him a good deal tonight. You've got two of the best bunters in the league, beginning with Vigna at the top of the order. Vigna drills this one to the left side. That's a base hit. So Fernando, who's been hot of late, the last 6 games, he's been around 400, starts it off with a base hit. He's stolen 6 thus far this year. He's been caught 5 times. A little bit of a hamstring pull, so he's not running as much as you thought he would be at the early start of the season. But Vigna's the trigger setter for this offense. He'll bunt his way on, slap his way on. You come in tight as Boone did, and then he'll slap it by you. Here's J.D. Drew. Drew and Vigna at the top of the order, each one of them very capable of bunting their way on. J.D. takes it down and away. Laz Diaz is your home plate umpire. Randy Marsh, Kentucky native, is the crew chief. He's over at first. Larry Vanover is at second. And Angel Hernandez is your third base umpire for tonight. From the stretch is Haynes, and he'll do that a lot. Drew sends it to left, high in the air. Kearns back, edge of the warning track. Got it. Vigna tags, but will hold it first. 1 away. It kicks away, but backing up is done. Good reaction by Adam Dunn as it kicked away from the second baseman Walker. Tonight, and as the summer goes on, and with these 7 o'clock starts, there'll be a couple of spots, and tonight especially for the right fielder Mateo, where for the first inning or so the sun will be a bit of a problem. You can see where the shadows come, and depending on where the ball is hit, Ruben Mateo may have a little difficulty with the ball right into that sunlight. Very pleasant night for baseball. Hey, it's not raining. That's good news. The way it's been. Here's Albert Pujols, last year consensus rookie of the year, the 8th unanimous rookie of the year. Add Frank Robinson to that list, one of the first to win rookie of the year unanimously, and what a year he had last year. Pujols out of the Dominican Republic, 329, 37 homers, 130 knocked in. Easy to see why he was unanimous, huh?
Yeah, you know what, though? There was also a number of people that thought Roy Oswalt should have been right up there with him. A lot of hitting-loving voters out there.
Let's go back to 1985 when Red won the Sporting News Rookie of the Year. Tom Browning didn't win the Writers Rookie of the Year that year, though, and we'll find out why when Browning joins us come the second inning. Tommy will join us for a couple of innings. We're really looking forward to it. He'll give us his expertise and nuggets about the game of baseball. You know, last year you really could have picked any one of 3 guys who were Rookie of the Year types. Jimmy Rollins was great, Oswalt was great, and of course Pujols won it. And if Adam Dunn had a full season, you would have put him right in that mix too.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that really gets the short end of it all, because he had enough at bats last year to disqualify him for this year. And he's a guy that you have to figure that if he were to post the kind of numbers that he did last year over a full season, he'd be a shoo-in.
Dunn holding the runner Vigna on. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Haynes 2-4 this year, going for win number 3 in his career. 2-1 against the Cardinals. Pass Dunn into right. Vigna had to hold up so he wouldn't be hit by it, and he'll have to stop at second. Well, a bit of a lesson for the young first baseman. One of the toughest things to do is to hold a runner on and then get yourself set defensively, and this one rifled right past him.
Well, Pujols does a good job on this because the Reds are really giving him the right side. Todd Walker is tucked very close to second base, opening up the right side, and Pujols, he just gives you an idea of how good a bat handler he is by going the other way like that. The Reds expected him to pull the ball. Vigna goes to second base because he's got to hold up. And both hits now by the Cardinals going opposite field.
And here's Edmonds. Jimmy hitting in the 4th spot tonight, 351, 8 homers, 23 knocked in. He's been either 3, 4, and 5 hitting against right-handed pitchers all year, and he continues it. Vigna rounds third. He'll score easily all the way to third. Will be Pujols, and Edmonds continues his torrid hitting against right-handed pitching. That base hit knocks in his 24th run of the year. Man, what a difference, right-handed versus left-handed for this guy.
I don't know if you want to platoon him or not, but he's a guy certainly when he knows what he's looking for and he gets that pitch, he's going to hit it hard. He has been a Reds killer ever since he put on a Cardinal uniform, and Jimmy Edmonds is a guy that you just simply cannot throw the ball out over the plate early on to. He'll make you hurt.
Over 300 for his career against Cincinnati, and Vigna crosses the plate. In fact, of the regulars in this Cardinal lineup, 5 of them have career averages over 300 against Cincinnati. Tino Martinez isn't one of them, of course, because he spent his career in the American League, Seattle, and then the Yankees, where all he did was pick up a handful of World Series rings. And he's struggling to get out of the gate here. 193, 2 homers, and 14 knocked in. This is a great example of where the Cardinals have been in the first 2 months. They've had runners on base a lot for Tino Martinez. He just hasn't delivered. He has only 14 runs batted in. You take a few hits here or there from Tino, and the Cardinals would be at least 500 and a little bit better, probably. They're really looking for him to come alive. 1 ball, no strikes. The Reds are just hoping it doesn't happen here. In the dirt, does he tag him? He does. Great throw by LaRue, great tag, and how to hang in there by Boone. They pick Pujols' pocket.
Well, really not a lot you can do about this as a base runner. When a catcher comes out and throws that fearlessly and you get a third baseman that sticks his knee down and blocks the bag, you're going to be out. That's a great throw by LaRue, a gutsy throw, because that had a very good chance of going into left field. But a good pickup by the other end, and nice play by Boone blocking the bag.
Haynes says thank you very much. He gets an extra out. There's your second out of the inning. 2 perfect executions right there. One of them by the catcher LaRue, the other by the third baseman.
That's something Pujols is going to remember about Aaron Boone. Blocking the bag with your leg like that. We'll see about it next time.
A bouncer. Dunn has it. He'll take it himself, and could have been worse. Cardinals score a run, but the Reds dodge a big bullet. 1-0 St. Louis to the bottom of 1. Walker, Larkin, and Encarnacion due up. Reds, who start the day 3.5 games ahead in the Central Division. Todd Walker will lead it off. Barry Larkin bats in the number 2 spot. Juan Encarnacion hits 3. Jake Kearns will be hitting in the 4th spot. Austin has been red hot in the 4th spot, and so have the Reds, so they're keeping him there. Dunn will hit behind him 5th. Aaron Boone, Mateo, LaRue, and Haynes. That's 1 through 9. Your Chevrolet starting lineup, and here's the young right-hander by way of Italy through amateur baseball, and boy, is he surprised to be at the major league level, and he's happy to be here.
Hey, this guy wasn't even on the radar screen when spring training began, but here's the scatter report on Jason Simontachi. He's a guy with not a lot of stuff, good mound presence. He won't overpower you, but he's quick to the plate with a runner on, and he has done so far exactly what the Cardinals needed. Pick him up in a pinch.
Second major league appearance, first road appearance. Walker sends it deep to center. Edmonds back. That's going to be off the top of the wall. Walker will have at least 2. He turns the corner, trying for 3. Here's the throw. It is in time, and he's nailed. Well, he tried to stretch it. A mistake, base running mistake for Todd Walker. You never want to make first or the last out at third base. He had 2. Thought he could wriggle 3 out of it. And another outfield assist for Edmonds as he picks it cleanly off the wall.
What a great play by Jim Edmonds. He reads this ball as well as you can coming off the wall. Now Walker at this point is not even running hard. He's seeing where is that ball. Maybe it's going out of here. Nope, it's going to stay in. Now I'm going to run hard because I think I can make it for 3. But off the top of the wall it goes. Watch Edmonds. He has got a good arm, and he comes up throwing, and it's a perfect one-hopper. Easy for the third baseman to handle. And dead to rights is Todd Walker.
That's why he's won 4 gold gloves in center field. Edmonds, perfect throw to third. Walker unhappy with himself. He knows that he made a mistake. If he's sitting on third, great, but you know, to lead off the inning sitting in scoring position on second is what you try to do.
You know, George, running the whole way or not running the whole way was his main mistake.
Yep. So the Reds, instead of no one out, a runner at second. There's one out, no one on, and here's Larkin. Barry pops it foul and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, it's funny, both these managers stress fundamentals so much. Tony La Russa and Bob Boone. We've seen 2 mistakes already on the base paths that probably both of them grew a couple of gray hairs watching.
Larkin sends it to right, so 2 hits for the Reds. The Reds have a runner on with 1 out. And that'll bring on Juan Encarnacion. Let's go around the horn with our forward defensive alignment. Tino Martinez, always Gold Glove caliber at first. The second baseman won the Gold Glove last year in the National League, Fernando Vina. Placido Polanco's at third. Renteria is your shortstop. In the outfield, Albert Pujols, who played 4 different positions last year. The Gold Glover Edmonds is over in center. And this guy is capable of Gold Glove work in right. J.D. Drew. Mike Matheny this year, as usual, throwing out about 40% of runners. Last year he threw out 45%. The year before that 51%. Very tough to get the running game going with Matheny behind the plate. Larkin has stolen 3, been caught once, and here's Encarnacion. In the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, when you watch Mike Matheny catch, you're looking at one of the best in the business, and not just throwing runners out. He's a guy that gets down real low, gives the pitcher a good target. He moves well. Good example right there of him blocking that ball in the dirt. Kept his chest square to the ball. He just does all the fundamental things, and it doesn't come easy. I mean, he's a guy that comes out here early. He was out here at 2:30 this afternoon blocking balls and throwing them to second.
Kind of reminds you of the Reds manager Bob Boone in his catching days. Longtime Gold Glover and a great student of the game. 2-0, down and away for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Last 4 games, Juan over 400 at 444. Continues to lead the Reds with 9 homers, 23 knocked in on the season. What a gift he has been, especially with Griffey on the disabled list. He's held down center field. Larkin not going. Pitch is down and away for a ball. The Reds have 2 on. So the first 3 batters reach base for the Reds. Walker thrown out trying to stretch the double to a triple, and Tony La Russa saying, let's dodge the bullet here in the first. This is the way things have gone for the Cardinals. Very similar, Chris, to what happened to the Reds last year. Cincinnati was 15-10 after April. Then early in May, they had 3 or 4 starts of an inning and 2/3, 2 1/3, and that blew out the bullpen.
Yeah, and that happens. It's kind of a snowball effect, because now your manager starts to hold guys back, and when you start doing that, you're really not sure what's going to happen, and the Reds are really never able to recover. Then the offense went sour and everything was bad.
Here's Austin, 400, 3 homers and 10 knocked in. Drill to center field. Edmonds heads for the warning track. There, got it. Larkin will tag, and he'll head to third. So it'll be first and third, but another bullet off the bat of Austin Kearns. And that was not as easy as a catch as Edmonds made it look. He's looking into the sun, and he had to turn and head to the track, but he made it look easy.
Good quiet at bat for Austin Kearns. Jumps on the first pitch he sees, and boy, that is a great follow through. Take another look at him. Keeps his head on it. Good short swing. Hits it on a line. Can't ask for more than that.
So a walk and 3 bullets from the Reds, and no runs to show for it yet. And here's Dunn. First and third for Cincinnati. There's a strike. Adam 290, 8 homers, 27 knocked in. Setting up inside Matheny. They'll chase Encarnacion back as they fake a toss over to third.
So for the play that never works, we've seen it twice already. We're in the first inning.
The over-under so far the last couple of years has been 3. We've seen it work about 2 or 3 times each year. Unbelievable. Does that tell you something about baseball today? Never worked. I mean, it was
old
always...
tricks are new tricks. Pretty soon we'll be looking for the hidden ball trick.
That'll work too. Dunn has hit safely 11 of his last 13 and hit 370 during that time. It's got his average up to near 300. High in the air to center. This should be caught. Again, right at the warning track. got it. Well, the Reds hit the ball every which way but loose. They don't score. They leave 2 on. Tom Browning joins us when we return. Of inning number 2, 6, 7, and 8 for St. Louis. Edgar Renteria, Mike Matheny, and Placido Polanco due up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals lead at 1-0. Reds golden opportunity, bottom of 1, couldn't convert. And we're very pleased to welcome to the Fox Sports Ohio broadcast booth a Red forever and one of our favorite Reds, Tom Browning, who joins us to talk a little baseball, talk a little pitching, and enjoy the start that this Reds team is off to.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. You know, everybody's contributing in whatever manner they have to. The starting pitching's been awesome. You know, and if you can get good starting pitching, I don't care what kind of offense you have, you're going to have a chance to win a lot of ball games, because all it takes is 1 or 2, 3 hits in a row. You know, late in the game, and that's what, you know, and they've got everybody swinging the bats good, and you know, and I think, you know, winning is as contagious as losing is, and you know, when one guy goes out there and pitches a good game, the next guy wants to go out there and do the same. So it's been good.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Edgar Renteria. He's in at 278. That's about as well as he started in his major league career. Plopped down the right field line and out of play for a strike. Stays 2-2.
You know, it seems like the good teams always have a blend of experience and youth, and that's the one thing about this ball club, especially with Kearns coming up and going in the number 4 hole. Dunn is a young guy. Casey plays still like a real young guy, and it has that youthful feeling to it.
Yeah, Kearns looks pretty comfortable at the plate, don't he?
Does he?
To Hopper to Larkin. Quick flip to first. Renteria is retired. Whenever you talk to Tom Browning, we'll flash back his career. How about this?
Gas.
Let's go to, Gas. El Perfecto, perfect game. The reader behind is Chris Sabo. September 16th, 1988. You still remember that, don't you?
It gives me goosebumps. Yeah, that's a neat feeling, I can tell you that.
Is that the top of the hill for you? When you had all the moments?
One game. I mean, I don't think you can take it. I think being a player in the major leagues, your ultimate goal obviously is winning the World Series. I think I cherish that more than anything else. But as an individual game, you know, obviously. But yeah, that was something special, especially doing it in front of the home crowd. That was really neat.
We'll talk more about that in a moment. Here's a strike 1 to Matheny. What do you remember most about that night? The long wait?
Just how lonely you feel, you know, because to be honest, because we went through it earlier in the year with Ronnie Robinson, and I remember Griffey and I think it was Herm Winningham were down the end of the bench, and sure enough, same night that I'm doing it, they were down there digging a trench in the wood out down there too. But you know, as the game goes on, you just, you know, as a pitcher out there playing, you kind of feel like you're in the zone, you know. And I think it was Mike Marshall hit a ball to right center that Paul ended up running down. You know, I knew after that one that I had a chance to do something, you know. But you don't want to get caught up in it, because you start thinking about it, and then you make mistakes. But it was, you know, a 1-0 game, and we were still mathematically in the division race. So, you know, it was against the Dodgers, who I love beating more than any team I think I pitched against. So yeah, it was a good night.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Matheny. Two away, and here's our Geico moment. You can take a look at this, Tommy. I remember Ronnie Oster tackling me, and after that, honestly, it felt like an out-of-body experience. It was like I was 15, 20 feet above the pile looking down on
I swear I was up here looking down at the whole thing. It was really neat. I mean, you just, you know, when it was over, you just, gosh, it was phenomenal. You know, and Ronnie tackled me, and, you know, he was in my face at the bottom of the pile. I said, Ronnie, let's get these guys off here. Gosh. But it was, you know, as a pitcher, and Chris will tell you, you don't go out there expecting to do anything. You know, you want to go out there and pitch a good game and, you know, give your team a chance to win, but you don't ever go out there expecting to do something like that. And, you know, we'd already watched 8 2/3 of it earlier in the year with Ronnie Robinson. So, but, you know, I'll accept it. I enjoyed it.
I'll tell you, as a pitcher that went out there but never came close, it's remarkable. I mean, it's one of those nights when everything has to work right for you.
Absolutely.
When you were warming up in the bullpen that night, did you have any inkling that you had the kind of stuff that would take you through that kind of a game?
Nah, not a clue. You know, and it was weird because we were sitting in the clubhouse for 2 hours while it rained, and I was actually getting undressed thinking we were going to play a doubleheader the next day, and the ground crew guy came in and said, tarps off, we're off in a half hour, whatever. So, you know, I'm not so certain that some of them Dodgers weren't enjoying a couple cocktails before. So,
Polanco single to right field. Might it have been the 14 cups of coffee you had during the rain delay?
Iced tea. I drank iced tea on game day. I know that because they said iced tea had more caffeine than coffee, so I drank iced tea.
So you were pretty well loaded up by the time you went out there.
I went to the bathroom a few times, I'm sure. But it was, it's just one of those nights, like Chris said, where any mistakes I made, they didn't swing at or they fouled them off, And of course, Timmy Belcher had a no-hitter into the 6th inning, so it kind of kept the game moving. And, I like that. I mean, I like quick games. I like getting in and out, so it made it a little bit easier for me to pitch.
If you're just joining us, that's the voice of Tom Browning, who was a member of the Reds from '84 through '94, and will always be a Cincinnati Red in heart and in practice. Here's the pitcher, Tachi, with 2 out and 1 on. Call Domino's Pizza now. Enjoy a free order of cheesy bread when you purchase your favorite one-topping pizza for only $9.99. Call Domino's now, where delivery is not extra. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 away here in the top of 2. When you think back on that night, were there moments when people would or wouldn't come up to you during the ball game? The superstition of a no-hitter?
Yeah, I think after the second time around the order, and you haven't given up a hit or anything, is when it.
Fly ball left. Kearns got it. Well, the Reds will strand a runner for the Cardinals in the second. We're heading to the bottom of 2. Boone, Mateo, LaRue due up. It's being brought to you by Domino's, where delivery is not extra. Get the door, it's Domino's. By McCluskey Chevrolet, home of the guaranteed credit approval. And by WCPO TV, 9 News is on your side. Tonight we broadcast from Cincinnati, but let's go back a few years. Yeah, he was on the disabled list, sitting around wondering what to do, and we were at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And where did Tom Browning show up? It was across the street at Wrigley, hole number 32.
From a perfect game to a perfect seat.
Yeah, that was pretty neat over there. I'll accept that one too.
That was pretty good. That was
yeah.
good.
No, that was a tough year. That was the year Tony got fired, and everybody was just kind of in disarray. So I gave him something to laugh at. Cost me $1,000, but it was worth it.
How'd Davey Johnson like that?
He didn't like it at all.
He didn't
like it at all. Well, I think he was mad because I think Bobby Valentine waved to me while I was up there. But by the time the game was over, I'd completely forgot that I'd went over there, and then Davey reminded me when in his office, and and I told him, I said, listen, these guys were in need of a laugh, a joke, because we were struggling, and Davey came into a very hostile situation because nobody wanted to have Tony fired, and but it served its purpose. I gave those guys a laugh, and it was great. It was nice up there, though. It's a really neat seat. Too bad they can't see now, huh?
Yeah, they're putting up the blinders, but yeah. I think they'll find a way to remedy that. Aaron Boone, Mateo, and LaRue due up for the Reds, 6, 7, and 8. And you bring up a great point, Tom, and that was such a great nucleus at that point in time. The 90 club that won, and then shortly thereafter, the makeup of a club is athletic, yes, right. And Chris talked about it earlier when we talked about this team that feels good about itself. The chemistry is so critical when you spend 6 months together, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's what about these guys here. They all get along. They come to play. They prepare themselves. And, but if you don't get along, sometimes there can be friction. And sometimes it's good, but most of the time, that year we wanted to win for Tony because everybody wanted to win for Tony because he was a lifelong Red, whatever. And he meant a lot to the team in the city. So, when he got fired. And I probably have to take a little responsibility for that because that was the year I was pitching with a brace on, and he left me out there in San Francisco for an extra inning, and of course I got beat. But I don't know if that was the top or not. But I mean, we wanted to win for Tony because we had so much respect for him, and we wanted to see him do well as a manager.
Here's Ruben Mateo with a 1 away in the bottom of 2, 275, a homer and 3 knocked in.
What do you miss about the game, Tom?
Pitching. Up on that hill, probably more than anything else. Now I look back, I always miss the camaraderie, the clubhouse. That's your little sanctuary where you go in there and beat little boys. But, I miss competing. I miss being out there on that hill. When I saw Jose start for the first time this year, I got goosebumps because, I knew where he was at. And I know there was nothing greater for me than going out there and pitching and starting a game and hoping to finish it. So, I probably more than anything else is being out there competing.
Special walking into that clubhouse over the years, the Big Red Machine years or your years, and to know where guys are going to be sitting in the clubhouse. And the first time you walk in and you weren't there, or the first time you walked in and Jose Rijo wasn't there, was different.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I enjoyed a lot was the rain delays early on in my career when we used to go and listen to Tony and Pete and all those guys, David Concepcion, and tell stories back in the 70s, and golly, I mean, growing up as a Reds fan, getting to hear the inside scoop on some of that stuff was pretty cool.
Isn't his comeback amazing this year?
It's hard to believe. It is a miracle. But you know what? He's endured a lot, and he's put a lot of effort in too. So he's certainly being rewarded.
Well, he's a guy now that gets the privilege of, I don't know about pitching like you. You throw a little harder than I did, but he throws about as hard as I did. Now he knows what a challenge that is.
Yeah.
And you weren't exactly a burner out there. I mean, you think he's learning a little more about pitching now than ever before?
Well, he better. Yeah, because your mistakes are magnified when you can't bring it up there. You know, that's one thing you learn. But you know, he's crafty enough, and he's got a good slider. You know, and he knows how to pitch, and he's learned how to pitch. And believe me, there's nothing more fun than going out there with, well, I'll say I had mediocre stuff, you know, average stuff, and getting people out. You know, I love seeing them get mad over there. Can't believe how they couldn't get a hit off me.
Down and away to Mateo. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of the most enjoyable sessions, I got to say, the 2 most enjoyable sessions I've watched in spring training in recent memory. Number 1 was when Pete had the chance to address the minor leaguers a couple of years ago. He got in a lot of heat for it, but the speech was unbelievable. And your speech last year to all the minor league pitchers, when they brought him into that little room, you sat there. I said to you before the game, before the meeting, what are you going to talk about? He said, I don't know, I'll probably talk for 2 or 3 minutes and I'll run out of stuff to say. You talked for an hour and you were still rolling, and it was great stuff. What do you tell young pitchers today?
You know, I like, you know, I try to teach my boys this, is throw the ball over the plate, you know, because nothing really can take place until, you know, the ball goes over the plate, and, you know, and as often as you can, you know, nothing is worse for a fielder than to sit around waiting for a guy to finally get a ball over the plate, or he, you know, throws a lot of pitches to a one-hitter. You know, they get kind of flat-footed, and you know, I was a big believer if you throw strikes and you're very aggressive, that the guys in the field would be on their toes all the time, and they tend to make good plays for you. So, but what I try to teach my kids now, and you know, my son Tanner's a freshman. I've taught him a fastball and a changeup. I didn't really teach him a fastball. By the time I throw a changeup, because I never had one anyways. But I just, you know, to be aggressive and you know, don't give that hitter too much credit. He's still got to swing it. He's still got to put a good part of the iron on it. So, you know, just I teach him to throw the ball over the plate. You know, that's what I want more than anything else.
First pitch strikes.
Yes. You know, and put them in the whole, you know, make them aggressive at the plate, and then they make them hit your pitch. And if you know, I was talking to on the radio yesterday, and they were asking me about pitch, and I said, listen, you know, the sooner you can get that hitter to be defensive, you know, and the best way to make him defensive is get 2 quick strikes on him, then he has to end up hitting your pitch. So, you know, I like throwing strikes, always did.
And you threw a lot of them. Keep hitting the ball to the guy in center. You're not going to score too much. The Reds aren't. They're trailing 1-0. Here comes Vigna as we go to the 3rd.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds and Fox Sports Net.
Great to have you back with us. We visit with Tom Browning, great Reds left-hander. Great to have you with us as we talk some baseball and get a chance to reflect and look ahead at this great Reds franchise. Tommy, when you talk about your career with the Reds, it was marked by a lot of ups and some downs, and Chris and I were there that night in San Diego when you broke your arm. And
oh yeah,
wow.
Well, I was probably an idiot for trying to go and pitch there because I was hurting. My arm was sore, but yeah, you know, I was trying to be, you know, a rockhead, thought I could play through anything, and but I will say this, it hurt.
It sure did. We could hear it all the way up in the broadcast booth. Let's take a look back to that day in San Diego
In the corner of Tom
against the Padres. May the 9th of 1994. And the amazing thing about it, after you went down, was watching you come back here and throw again.
Here's another look.
Oh yeah, let's slow it down.
Yeah. It still hurts as you watch it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, yeah. I mean, it hurt then. I know that.
And
but you know what? I got through that. I healed. I went down and pitched Puerto Rico. Had a chance to come back, and you know, I didn't want to be a relief pitcher. I had a chance to make the club as a reliever, and I just didn't want to be a reliever. So I was a starter. I was a rocket the whole time. So, but you know, I gave it a chance. I got a chance to come back, and you know, I pitched good enough. I think if I had given myself another year, maybe bullpen work or just to work my arm strength back, I could have made it back. But you know, I was 36, and you know, it was kind of a maybe, and so you know, I was happy with what I got. I'm very, very happy to have the career I had. So.
Pena bounces out. Here's J.D. Drew.
You know, Tom, all the guys that, not all of them, but the majority of the pitchers that have actually broken their arm in the process of pitching have been left-handed.
Yeah.
Any theories on why that might be?
Well, not really, other than, you know, because we throw against the world's axis or something. I don't know.
That's a theory I haven't heard.
Yeah, I don't know. We go against gravity a little bit. I don't know, but
Did you get that from Steve Carlton?
yeah, that's probably what I got. But, you know, I know why mine broke, you know, and mine was because of lacking pitching for 2 years after I got hurt, and the bone actually got weaker, and I came out of the gates in '94. You know, I think I had back-to-back complete games and felt like I was kind of back where I was, but my arm started getting sore, and I didn't know why. And you know, I thought it was just like tendonitis or something. But
I remember like the week or two before. I mean, you were taking treatment. You knew there was something aching in there, but you didn't know, and who the heck could know what it would be.
Right. You know, and back then, you know, nobody knew anything like that. And, you know, but they certainly check now, which is good. You know, I think it's the right thing. And I think if they'd have known back then what they know now, they'd have certainly checked too. But
Key point in his ball game tonight. 1 out, 1 on. The power hitting Albert Pujols to the plate. Pujols singled to right, made his way to third, and was picked off on a great throw by Jason LaRue back in the first. Red Baseball brought to you tonight by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. George Grant with Chris Welch. We continue to visit with Tom Browning. And Tom, you talk about your injury, and I'm sure you add up your career in victories and innings and so on and so forth. But more importantly, I know you, and we know the kind of teammate you were. You added up in terms of teammates. I'm sure this week you had similar thoughts for Johnny Franco, one of your former teammates who now we find out he's going to need Tommy John surgery and will be out for this year, and maybe his career comes to an end.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that he finally got to the World Series. He didn't get to win it, but at least he got got to the big dance. And I know that was, you know, I think that's anybody's aspiration as a Major League Ball player to get to the World Series. But yeah, I mean, heck, he's old. He's old like me now. He needs to quit. But I mean, he's done a great job for them, and he was a great teammate here. And we came up together at the same time. I played with him when he got traded over from the Dodgers, and he came over to AAA. And just a great competitor. You know, I know it's killing him, and you know, it's tough to say goodbye. You know, I don't know if he's going to say goodbye. I mean, but in order for him to pitch again, I think he's going to have the surgery. So you know, that's a tough decision. And was there a press conference yesterday?
Yes, but he indicated basically he's not sure what he's going to do yet. Ground ball. Larkin can't get to it. That'll go into left field. So Pujols is 2 for 2. And there are 2 on with 1 out for Jim Edmonds, who singled in a run back in the first inning.
You know, Johnny Franco, one of those guys that everybody said was too small to pitch in the big leagues, didn't throw hard enough to pitch in the big leagues, and just about 1,000 games he appeared in.
Oh, he's got what, 400-something saves.
Yep.
And, you know, I don't know. Does that qualify for a Hall of Fame? Have we figured out how many saves?
For a reliever, it's hard to
yeah.
say. You know, certainly the numbers have changed. Used to be everybody thought you got 300 saves, you're in the Hall of Fame. I don't know whether 400 will get someone in the Hall of Fame these days.
Well, used to be 400 home runs got you in the Hall of Fame too.
He's a Hall of Fame guy, no doubt about that. Great play by Haynes. Can he get 2? He does. Well, 2 outstanding plays have helped Jimmy Haynes dance the tightrope. He still trails 1-0. We head to the bottom of 3. Haynes, then Walker, then Larkin. Energy Field. Cardinals 1 run, 5 hits. The Reds no runs, 2 hits as we go to the bottom of 3. Jimmy Haynes, the pitcher, will lead it off. Then Walker and Larkin will follow. George Grant with Chris Welch, and we continue to visit with Reds pitcher Tom Browning. 84 to 94. Every time you picked up the paper or looked in the record book, he was always one of the league leaders in starts and innings pitched. Very durable pitcher and a gutsy performer, and it's great to talk some baseball with him. Tom, first 2 personal questions. Number 1, how's the golf game? And number 2, tell us about the kids. We're blessed to watch them as they were born, and tell us how they're coming along.
The kids are doing great. My 3 boys are right in the middle of baseball season now, so I've got an average of 7-8 games a week I get to watch. My daughter's graduating this year. Well, it's been a tough week. They've been rained out all week, so. But they're doing good. Like my little girl Tia, she's 18 months old, I think, 19 months old. She's a pepper pot. She kind of runs the roost now, but they're all doing great. You know, my golf game, I tore my ACL trying to play basketball this winter, so I've been on the mend for the last 6 weeks. So. But I played today and played in a scramble today over there at Twin Oaks for Right for Life and stuff. So not bad. We had a great day. I can tell you that. Beautiful day today.
You always do. That's an outlook on life, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
2 balls, 2 strikes, down to short. Renteria has it.
Now, you were doing some college pitching coaching for a while. Any inclination or desire to get back into the game as a coach?
Oh yeah. Well, the more I watch it, the more yes, I'd love to. I just would like to have the right situation present itself or pursued. Obviously I'd love to be in the middle with the Reds, but I always felt like if I tried to get in there that I was really taking somebody's job that worked his butt off to get there, and I don't want to just jump in there. So, but I stay in close contact with the right people, I guess, so I can, if something pops up where they think I can help, then I'd love to. So I know I can help. I know I can help a lot of people, a lot of pitchers anyway.
They talk about the complexities of pitching, and I think the key is the best pitchers usually simplify it. That's the biggest key.
Well, we'll get your 3 pitches and master them. You'll be a 20-game winner in the big leagues. That was Harry Dorsch. When he tried to tell that to Rob Murphy, you remember Murph? Murph said, "Harry, I drive a Porsche now." Well, you know what I mean. Yeah, it was taught to me very simple when I was in the minor leagues. And one thing they did is they let me be a starter the whole time. I started my whole career, so it was very easy for me to. My first big league camp, when Vern Rapp was here, they were going to bring me north as a reliever, but Mr. Housen thought it'd be best if I stayed down there and became a starter. So, boy, he makes it look easy out there, don't he?
He's poetry in motion, isn't he? Well, you had a pretty good out there, and Eric Davis.
Oh yeah, he was fun. He was nice knowing he was in your back pocket. That's for sure. Whenever he tapped that glove, you knew he had it too. So.
Reds tradition, something very special, isn't it? You were a Red, and you look around now and see as we move into a new ballpark, there's really very few organizations that can put on the field in terms of history and tradition what Cincinnati can.
Yeah, and especially this place they're getting ready to tear down. I grew up wanting to play here. As an 8-year-old or 9-year-old, I can remember just saying, I can't wait to be there. I'd love to play there someday. And it is something special. It's going to be neat to see a state-of-the-art ballpark built and see all the new amenities that come with it. But this place will always obviously have a special place for me. But
you have a favorite manager while playing for the Reds?
Well, obviously Pete was probably the most fun. I think Lou was probably the best I ever played for by far. But Pete certainly was a lot of fun. When your manager's over at first base, he can't come to the mound. And he's got to take you out, which was great.
That was a big controversy, too. How many visits he would be given. Sure.
Yeah.
He could yell over there, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he did that quite a bit. But, that was a connection that I really enjoyed from when I played in the Big Red Machine. Tony was there, and Pete was there, and David Concepcion, who I think is a Hall of Famer. And I talked to Marty about that earlier. I asked his opinion. He said absolutely. So. But, they were able to share some of the tradition of the 70s with me, especially like I was telling you in the rain delays, which was great. But, it's going to be neat to see a new one, but it'll be kind of sad to see this one go.
Larkin bangs one down the left field line, but foul. How about the captain?
Been doing it for a long time. I remember when they tried to get him to go in the minor leagues, become a second baseman, because they thought Kurt was going to be our everyday shortstop. And I don't think Barry he didn't want to do it. I think he wanted to stay at shortstop. But, Barry's always been a quiet leader. He's never, ever been a vocal guy. Never was. Probably, and I know to this day he still isn't. But, as a professional, he couldn't ask for any more. He goes about his business. He is getting older. He's starting to break down a little bit, so you got to pay a little bit more attention. But as far as what he could do on the field when he's healthy, there's not too many that can hang with him. And unfortunately for him, it's the early years. Ozzie Smith was still playing, and he had to lose some gold gloves because Ozzie was still playing. But he certainly was as good as Ozzie, I thought.
3-2 to Larkin. Down to third. Polanco takes care of it. Tom Browning, thanks for coming by and speaking with us. We enjoyed it, Tommy. Always enjoy sitting around the clubhouse talking, and moving that up to the press box was fun tonight.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks.
Great fun, Tommy.
Got through it pretty good. Thanks.
We'll be back after this. Mother's Day gift that'll last forever. A brick to be paved outside Great American Ballpark. Engrave the family name or a special message for Mom for Mother's Day. Get a special keepsake. Order your brick for Mother's Day by calling toll-free 866-850-2100 or log on to CincinnatiReds.com for details. Back at the big ballpark by the river. 1 run, 5 hits for the Cardinals. No runs, 2 hits for the Reds. Redbirds got their run in the first. 3 singles. Edmonds' base hit plated the 1-0 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Tino Martinez, and in that first inning it was almost a duplication of what the Cardinals have been going through with number 21. They had 2 runners on. Tino at the plate. 1 runner got picked off. Pujols at third, and then Tino bounced out to the first baseman. You almost have a feeling, though, that he'll get it right because that's what he's always done. Talk about runs batted in the major leagues. Since 1995, Jeff Bagwell is the only guy that's knocked in more runs than Tino Martinez in Major League Baseball. Tino is ahead of Mark McGwire, the guy that he replaced this year, ahead of Eric Karros, ahead of Rafael Palmeiro. He's been a run producer.
Well, more than 100 RBI each of the last 6 of 7 years. So, and the Cardinals pick him up after he had a tremendous year with the Yankees last year.
There was a very prolonged sigh and groan in New York because they never wanted to see Tino go. You know what happened in New York? They signed Jason Giambi, so Tino, who was a free agent at the end of last year. In fact, he called the Cardinals. It was during the winter meetings that he called Walt Jocarty and said, look, you know, I don't know what's happening with you and where you're going, but if you're interested, I'm interested. And lo and behold, they sat down and quickly worked out a 3-year contract. So Tino, at the age of 34, has a 3-year deal with St. Louis, and they're just waiting for him to come around. 1 away. You know that he gives you great defense in any event, but they need him to produce runs in this line.
Yeah, they do, and I think that they depend on that, and probably he'll come around and do that. It's interesting. Some guys come over to the new league and they have a hard time adjusting. Other guys don't. So every time you think about, well, Martinez just adjusting to National League pitching, and you look at what Jim Edmonds did his first 6 months over here.
Haynes knocks it down and throws him out. Time for our Aflac trivia question for tonight. In Tom Browning's perfect game, the Reds won 1-0. Who scored the only run in Tom Browning's perfect game? I'll have to ask Tommy that. You know. You better know.
Without it, the game might be still going on.
Yeah. 2 away, and here's Mike Matheny, grounded out his first time up. With the exception of those 3 hits in the first inning, Haynes has pitched well. He allowed a isolated single in the second, an isolated single in the third, and started a double play that got him out of the 3rd inning. And Chris, we talk about Red starting pitching. Joey Hamilton's pitched great before going on the disabled list with that pulled hamstring, but Jimmy Haynes has been better than advertised so far.
Well, he's been a guy that has always had a very high earned run average. He doesn't have a great winning percentage, but he eats up a lot of innings. Now, you say, well, what good is that? Well, on a staff, you need somebody out there that's going to save your bullpen and that you can depend on 5, 6, 7 innings each start. He's been that guy that the Reds can go to if he can get by the first inning. I mean, he's kind of a field pitcher, a guy that has a good breaking ball, but still in all, it takes a couple of innings sometimes for him to get the feel of the game. And sometimes it's always better to have a hitter see him a couple of at-bats before he kind of gets a feel of how to pitch to a certain hitter. That's why the Cardinals came out swinging the way they did. They're normally a very patient team.
1 and 2 is wide, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd here tonight. Looks like we may even push over the 30,000 mark as they continue to file in. They'll be up 28 anyways, and seems that the crowd's continuing to build. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Mike Matheny. Look at Mike Matheny, and we haven't seen the Cardinals yet. We didn't even see him in spring training because now they train on the east coast of Florida. But looking at highlights, his swing is completely different. And I went up and asked him, I said, what'd you do with your swing? I said, who'd you work with in the offseason? He said, everybody. He said, everybody I talked to that had an idea, I worked on it. And so far it's worked. He's in at 292 to start the night tonight and hitting the ball well.
Actually, he was going so bad last year, he went and saw Andy Van Slyke, a good friend of his, and he told him at one time he was thinking about switch hitting over the winter. He goes, I'm so bad right-handed, how much worse can I be left-handed? And Van Slyke said, listen, just lower your hands a little bit, work on a couple of things, and it's made a big difference for him. If you can get Mike Matheny to hit 275 to 280 with his defense behind the plate, you've got something special.
Here's Placido Polanco, single to right in the 2nd inning. Polanco, with 2 outs, did what you want him to do, and that's get a base hit, get the pitcher to the plate so you don't lead off the next inning with him. Now, while Matheny's numbers look good, Polanco struggled a bit at the plate at 267. No homers, 4 knocked in. Shows bunt, takes it wide, 2-0. There was a big debate all spring training. What were the Cardinals going to do? Were they going to go with an extra outfielder and have Pujols play third? And finally they decided, rather than have Polanco be the extra guy, they wanted him in the lineup every day. And he was very valuable to this club last year, as they wound up tied with Houston in the Central Division. So they decided to put Polanco at third. You know, Craig Paquette left. Paquette left as a free agent. And they put Pujols in the outfield. For the Cardinals, the new look Cardinals of 2002. Tino Kane, Mike DeFelice, Eduardo Perez, and Jason Isringhausen. Gone, of course, Mark McGwire, who retired. Paquette left as a free agent. Bobby Bonilla. Dustin Hermanson traded. DJ Matthews gone. So some new characters in this Cardinal scrapbook. Down to third, tricky hop for Boone, holds on, over to second, that'll do it. So the number 8 batter grounds out, a walk but no problems. The Reds will go to work in the bottom of 4. Encarnacion will lead it off. Cincinnati trails by 1. Everywhere you go with a car flag from Chevy, just be one of the first 10,000 fans 16 and over at the Reds Cards game Saturday. Hook the sturdy red car flag on your vehicle. Let that Reds logo flap in the wind. Game time 1:15, but get there early to get the special gift from Chevy. Chevy Car Flag Day on Saturday. That's tomorrow. So a big weekend. Reds picture poster, Car Flag Day, and then Umbrella Day for Mom. And the way things have been going, you may need that umbrella come Sunday. It's one of the few bright sunny days we've had. One final in the National League this afternoon. Milwaukee came back to beat the Cubs 6-4. Looked like the Cubs were in control. Milwaukee come alive since leaving here. Wins it 6-4. Tonight, Arizona, Philadelphia scoreless in the 4th. Montreal 3, San Francisco 2 in the 3rd. Pirates 2, Houston nothing in the 4th. Florida 2, LA nothing in the 4th. Colorado leads New York 4-0 in the 3rd. Juan hits it deep to center. That's going way back. Edmonds at the warning track. And there's another warning track fly ball. Well, the young right-hander is got warning track luck on this night, Chris.
Well, pitch to the ballpark. That's one thing contact pitchers always keep in mind. Make sure that you pitch to the largest part of the park. Keep the ball between the gaps if you can. If you have a guy like Jim Edmonds out there, he'll track down just about anything that is catchable.
Edmonds says, I don't want any more to J.P. True.
he's getting his sprints in.
The Gold Glover turns around a couple of times and flags it down, one away. Here's Austin Kearns. He lined to the warning track his first time up. Word travels fast. And Tony La Russa in his office before the game today, as soon as we walked in, he took one look at us and said, this kid Kearns is pretty good, huh? The word arrives before the team does.
Oh, he knew that a long time ago with the kind of scouting that, or the advanced scouting and reports that Tony La Russa gets. He is up to date as anybody.
Cardinals use a lot of video, a lot of advanced work. But what also rings a bell more than anything is when you get one of your close friends in baseball to call you and say, look out for this guy. Gary Matthews, the hitting instructor for Milwaukee, just came to town. One of his closest friends is Dusty Baker. He talked to Dusty Baker the night before the Red Series started. Dusty said, watch out, because you're going to see one of the best young hitters I've seen in a long time, Austin Kearns, on the Cincinnati Reds club. And Gary Matthews says, I see what you mean. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Towards the hole, past the diving Polanco, base hit Austin Kearns. Well, he's only been up a couple of weeks. He leads all National League rookies in batting, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage, and tied for the league lead in home runs. That's all Austin Kearns has done since coming up.
You know, you look at him, you say, where are his holes? Pitchers have tried to pitch him inside. They tried to get the ball in there, but he is so quick from his stance to the batting zone that he catches the ball and hits it very sharply. Hit it that hard that you even get a ground ball through the infield.
1 out, 1 on, and here's the other solid young Cincinnati outfielder, Adam Dunn, playing first tonight. Dunn, fly ball to center his first time up. it safely in 11 of his last 13. There have been some great rookies that have come up in mid-season. Done the latest. Probably the guy that you put at the top of everybody's list was Stretch McCovey. Came up the end of July for San Francisco and won the Rookie of the Year award. One ball, one strike. Two and one. We'll see what Bob Boone does ahead in the count, and Kearns leading off first. Would he send the runner? He doesn't. Missing inside. Foul will go. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is the first of the season series between these two teams. The Reds will play the Cardinals 7 times in the next week and 10 times in the next 5 weeks. So key games for the Reds, for the Cardinals, for individuals, and for the race. Cincinnati going through a stage now where they play Milwaukee and St. Louis back-to-back, home and away. 3-2, the runner will be off and running. He does. It's inside, ball 4, and the Reds have a base hit and a walk. 2 on, 1 out, and here comes Aaron Boone. Time for Aflac Trivia answer. In Tommy's perfect game, the Reds won it 1-0. Who scored the only run in that ball game? Unearned run in the 6th inning. It was the captain, Barry Larkin. 1988. One of Larkin's most memorable moments in his 17 years as a Red. But just like Tom Browning said for Barry Larkin, the biggest moment, 1990, when they were at the top of the baseball world beating Oakland. And who was the manager of Oakland? Tony La Russa, manager of the Cardinals tonight.
When Tony La Russa got to the ballpark tonight, you know, most players and managers, all players and managers now have special ID cards to designate them as coaches or players. And Tony La Russa didn't pull out his ID card. He showed the guard his World Series ring that said La Russa on it. Of course, I asked the guard, did you ask him if it was the 1990 version? What'd that look like? He wasn't that cruel.
He's the one that really thought, as did everybody in the Oakland camp, that they were going to breeze their way to a 2nd straight World Series title. They won it in '89 against San Francisco, winning 4-0. That was in the Earthquake World Series. And they swept the American League Championship Series 4-0, and everyone thought they were going to sweep the Reds. The only people that didn't were the Reds. And the Reds won it 4-0, winning it in Oakland. 2 balls, no strikes to Boone. Reds good opportunity here with 1 out. Down to 3rd, but foul.
Well, Jimmy Lefevre has been working a lot with every player on the team, but none more so than Aaron Boone, who has been struggling a little bit, obviously, with batting average now slumped below 220. But they think that they have figured out what the cause of Boone's problem is. And he's a guy that, as he takes his stride, had been pointing his toe, his left foot, right towards the pitcher. So they've tried to keep him closed, which will keep him on the outside pitch a little bit more. Sometimes takes a while to make that adjustment, but they feel they're on the right track.
Here's the 2-1. And he's behind again, 3 balls and 1 strike. Reds had a leadoff double by Walker. He was out trying to stretch it to a triple. Larkin singled, Encarnacion walked, but after 2 balls hit to the warning track, the Reds rally was snuffed out in the 1st. Polanco has it. They'll get 1 at 2nd, on to 1st. Bina turns it, and a double play gets the Cardinals out of trouble. So the Reds will strand a runner. They still trail 1-0 as we head to the 5th. double play got the Cardinals out of trouble. Jimmy Haynes had a double play bail him out of trouble in the third, and he goes to work here in the fifth. The pitcher, then Vigna, then Drew do up for the Cardinals. Last year, the Cardinals finished 93-69. They tied with Houston for the top spot, and you talk about season series, how important it is. They lost the season series to the Astros, finished 7-9 against Houston, so that's why they were the wild card team. Houston was the winner in the Central Division. The Reds know full well how much a win can mean. 1999, when they fell a win short of winning in the division, ended up with a one-game playoff with the Mets and lost. Strikeout for Haynes. That's his first punch out of the night. Hey, get MLB.com's Total Ticket and be the ultimate baseball insider. Total Ticket includes game day audio, highlights direct, baseball's best, and more. Highlights direct allows you to create custom daily highlights of your favorite club or players with baseball's best. You can view baseball's best games ever played, from Mantle to Koufax to Chris Welch and more. Sign up for Total Ticket today exclusively at MLB.com. Now, your most memorable game, was it your perfect game like Tom Browning's? Has to be the home run.
Yeah, then the alarm went off.
We all had one of those, huh?
Beat the Reds one year, as a matter of fact, while they were down in the pennant race. In fact, it was in 1981 when the Reds had the best record in baseball and won neither the first nor second half. That was a strike year, and Reds didn't go to the playoffs that year because they lost out by a game. And the highlight of that game after a 4-0 shutout was being on the Joe Nuxall postgame show.
Everybody's highlight has been a Red. 2 balls and 1 strike in that Cubs Brewers game today. Ray King gets the win. Joe Borowski takes the loss. Mike DeJong gets his 7th save. Jeffrey Hammond's 2 for 5, his 3rd homer. Joe Girardi 4 for 5 in a losing effort for the Cubs. Matt Clement, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. It looked like Clement was on his way to another victory, but the Brewers got 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 1 at 6-4. Vigna bounces out once again. He's 1 for 3, and here's J.D. Drew.
It's pretty good glove work down there by Adam Dunn at first base. He looks like he's played down there a while. I wonder if, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, I wonder if what Sean Casey thinks when he sees Adam Dunn down there taking ground balls before a ball game.
I don't think in Casey's case and he minds it. I mean, he came up in an organization where they had a boatload of first basemen like Richie Sexson and the like. And the knowledge in this day and age, too, is that you're going to switch players around quite a bit. Hey, you know, there's been some talk, too, you know, to try to improve his footwork. Casey's been taking ground balls at short, and really, the Reds are not adverse someday to maybe putting Sean Casey over at third base. The way he's played the infield, I mean, I think he could be as good as Dimitri Young was. Mateo there. And that'll do it. It's a 1-2-3 in the 5th. Reds need to do some bat work to the bottom of 5. Ruben drops the glove, grabs the bat when we return. More Reds baseball coming your way on Fox Sports Net. Our next game will be game 2 of this Redbird series. Tomorrow, Real Reds at 12:30. The game will follow at 1. Chris Rietsma scheduled to go for the Reds against Darryl Kyle, the ace of this Cardinal staff. Hope you join us tomorrow, and then the Reds head to Milwaukee and to St. Louis. Mateo drills it to right, base hit for Ruben, so the Reds have the leadoff hitter on here in the 5th, trailing by a run. Mateo on, and here comes Jason LaRue. Ruben's 1 for 2, hit a fly ball to center his first time up. By the way, among the Reds walking wounded, been a lot of talk the last couple of days about Ken Griffey Jr. He continues to work out. There was some speculation that he might go on this road trip. He will not go on the first part of the road trip to Milwaukee, depending how things go next week and how much work he'll be able to get in and how he reacts to it. He may possibly join the Reds in St. Louis. That's a possibility, not a probability. But he continues to rehab. And there was some good news among the pitchers today. Jose Silva tossed, and he looked good.
Yeah, he's good enough to be optioned out, or at least be sent out to AAA to pitch down there for a while. And Seth Etherton also took the mound. He'll be going to Dayton. Seth Etherton did. So it was nice to see Etherton finally pitch after a couple of years. We've not even really seen that young man except for a couple of innings in spring training.
They wanted to be so cautious with him, and it looks like, as Dr. Timothy Kremchek said, hope you had a chance to see his interview on Real Reds tonight with the guys. He said they were happy that they waited as long as they did, because he looks like now he is ready to pitch after the surgery last year. LaRue fouls it off. 1 strike to Jason. Brian Bohannon on his injury rehab has looked good this past week, tossing as well. Jose Silva is on the short list right now to help the Reds in this bullpen. Bohannon is a guy who would come up and start. Silva's a guy who would come up and go to the bullpen. So they would fill different roles. 1 strike to LaRue. Hit good down to the corner. Pujols was way over in left center. It'll rattle off the wall. They're going to send him around third. Here comes Mateo. Here comes the throw. He is safe. Mateo beats the throw, and the Reds have tied it on the double by Jason LaRue. That's the best we've seen Ruben Mateo run, Chris, since he came over. Remember, he had that broken leg. He was subpar running, but boy, he motored that time.
Well, he had to run well because the Cardinals execute the relay play as good as anybody. Jason LaRue hooks this ball into the corner. Now all the Cardinals are played around opposite field. They think he's going to go the other way with it. But LaRue gets the break. He goes into the corner. He cruises into second base. Here comes Pujols up. Relay, no problem. Renteria with a very strong arm and throw right at the plate. But Mateo beats it.
Watch Ruben. Here's when he makes the difference. He rounds second. He knows he's probably going to get the go-ahead. He does. Steams home. And he ties this ball game up. LaRue did not want to get caught. Remember, he represents the go-ahead run, so he went about 1/3 of the way to third, then held up. That's the best opportunity we've had to see Ruben run, and he was off to the races that time. Here's Haynes, the pitcher. With no out, you would expect him to sacrifice and move the runner to third. And that's what the Cardinals are talking about. Tino Martinez in 10 steps in front of the bag at first. Same thing with Polanco over at third.
Well, the Cardinals historically have always been a team that have played this type of a situation very aggressively on defense. Even since the days of Keith Hernandez down at first base, they'll charge hard and try to get that lead runner if at all possible.
Cardinals and the Mets are the 2 most active infield defensively. They'll have no play at third, have to go to first, and they get the out. Great job by Jimmy Haynes. A sacrifice for Haynes. The Reds, with 1 out, now have a runner at third, and the decision is the Cardinals. Do you bring the infield in the bottom of the 5th inning?
4th sacrifice bunt on the year for Jimmy Haynes. It's a good one. You want to get it down the third base line, make the third baseman field it if possible. Now, if Simon Tachi decides to go to third base right away, there might be a play over there, but remember, it's not a forced play, so he's going to get the easy out and make sure that he's got an out of this situation. That's a pretty heady play for a young pitcher.
The Cardinals will keep the right side of the infield back. Walker, the second baseman, is back. Renteria is a step shy of double play depth at short, and Polanco's even with the bag at third. Walker, if he does what he did the first 2 times up, will get a run home. He hit a double off the wall in center field, was thrown out trying to stretch it to a triple in the first, and hit a fly ball to the warning track in center field in the third.
Boy, this is the time that when you're pitching out there, you know you need a strikeout. You're going to throw him the best stuff because he's the best chance of getting a strikeout really in the lineup until you get down to Encarnacion, because you've got Barry Larkin waiting on deck, and he's almost assured to get that run. And if you have a runner over there at third base and less than 2 out.
No balls, 2 strikes. McCluskey Chevrolet still in GM overdrive. Take the rate or the rebate as low as 1.9% or up to $3,000 cash back. Only at McCluskey Chevrolet. Call the one number 761-1111. The Reds want one here. A run to take the lead. It's tied at 1. Inside 2-2. Well, when you're struggling pitching, you hope that somebody can come up from the minor leagues and just plug the gap, stick a finger in the dike, and Simon Tachi's done it so far. One start, pitched well, and he's pitched well in this second start. The Reds are trying to get to him here in the bottom of 5. He strikes out Todd Walker. So now the Cardinals, with 2 outs, can pull the infield back to normal depth.
Well, Simon Tachi, who just came off an outing where he pitched 5-hit 2-run baseball against the Atlanta Braves, changes speeds on his fastball very nicely in that at bat against Todd Walker. One went in there at 86 miles an hour. That blow him away pitch went in at 90. So had a little giddy up when he needed it.
This isn't one of those young phenoms. He's 28 years old, drafted by the Royals on the 21st round during the '96 draft, out of a college in Idaho, Albertsons College in Caldwell, Idaho.
Baseball powerhouse.
Haven't been to the College World Series too often.
There's always next year.
Still lives in Northern California in the Santa Clara area. Here's the 1-ball pitch to Larkin. Drilled to right. Drew in tight. Can he get there? It is a foul ball. Long run for J.D. Drew. Boy, did he get a good break on that. It looked like if it was fair, it would have been extra bases. Drew almost gets there. Wow.
Boy, is that close.
Hard to tell there. If he touched it, it was a fair ball, but it looks like he'd missed it. He just came within an eyelash of touching it. Randy Marsh, the crew chief, down the right field line, peering into the corner to make the call.
Boy, they really play Barry Larkin around towards the line at right field. Deep in left, shallow in center, and fairly shallow in right.
One ball, 1 strike to Larkin. Missing inside, 2-1. LaRue doubled in a run, was sacrificed to third, and Bob Boone's catcher still sitting on third. Trying to get him in to get the Reds ahead. 2-1 to Larkin. And the dirt, great block by Matheny. You can't measure the value of a play like that. You know, we were in San Francisco this past weekend, and before one of the games in the Reds clubhouse, there was discussion with some of the writers about the value of a catcher and a good defensive catcher. And one of the key things and key stats that's never mentioned are blocks. That's as important a stat as you'll ever find. Off the plate. Can Larkin get there? Oh, they nab him by half a step. Good play by the pitcher. 2 good defensive plays by the pitcher, Simon Tachi, to bail himself out of trouble. But the Reds get a run. We're tied at 1 as we go to the 6th. Or even Steven as we go to the 6th. Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, Tino Martinez due up for St. Louis. Breaking balls in there. The big curveball drops in on Albert Pujols. Pujols singled to right in the first inning. Singled to left in the third inning. He was picked off third in the first. And promptly after being picked off, a base hit. So the Cardinal inning could have been deeper and longer in that first inning had not Pujols been caught off by Jason LaRue and Aaron Boone. No balls, 2 strikes from Jimmy Haynes. Missing low, and it's a full count, 3-2. On the scoreboard tonight, in addition to that Cubs-Milwaukee game won by the Brewers 6-4. At Montreal, the Expos have gotten 4 in the third, leading San Francisco 5-2, bottom of 5. That's another base hit. Pujols 3 for 3. So a leadoff hit for the Redbirds here in the 6th. At Philadelphia, Phillies a run in the 5th, leading Arizona 1-0. Padilla no-hitter through 5 innings. Bobby Abreu's home run in the 5th, accounting for the 1 run for Philadelphia. Pirates 3, Houston 0 in the 6th. Kevin Young hit his 3rd for Pittsburgh. Florida 2, Los Angeles 0 in the 5th. Down and away for a ball. Colorado leading the Mets 4-2. They're in the 5th as well. Todd Helton 2 home runs, number 6 and 7. Mike Piazza has hit his 8th. Jenny against D'Amico. San Diego 2, Atlanta 0, bottom of 4 at Atlanta. Tankersley against Greg Maddux. Ray Langford, the former Cardinals, hit his 1st home run of the year. Dave McKay makes sure that Pujols understands the signs. Flash by Jose Aquindo down in the 3rd base coach's box for the Cardinals. Way high to Edmonds. Edmonds single to right, knocked in a run, and bounced into a 1-6-3 double play. American League, Tampa Bay leads Baltimore 3-2. Devil Rays trying to end their long losing streak. Cleveland, Kansas City scoreless in the 2nd. Sabathia against George. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Yankees, Minnesota scoreless in the 1st. David Wells going for his 5th. Detroit and Texas scoreless in the 3rd. White Sox at Anaheim. Toronto at Oakland. Boston at Seattle. Coming up later on, that's your scoreboard update. Courtesy of Mark Wagner.
Satisfy your appetite with the quick, great taste of JTM delicious sandwich kits. Choose from beef Philly cheesesteaks, chicken Philly cheesesteaks, or JTM's original steak hoagie kits.
Edmonds now 31 years of age. Hit 300 last year again with 30 homers and 110 knocked in. And he's off to that kind of a start again this year. Popped up. Haynes directs the traffic to Boone. Aaron under it. He's got it. First out of the inning, and here comes Tino Martinez. Time for Ohio Lottery winning numbers tonight. Pick 3, 056056. Pick 4, 7381, 7381. Buckeye 5, 4, 9, 10, 13, 23, 4, 9, 10, 13, 23. Hope you had a winner tonight in the Ohio Lottery. Here's Tino, bounced to first twice. That's Ray Knight's defensive chart for the Reds. The former Reds manager, player, and coach back again as the defensive coordinator this year. And he's really taken that job to heart. Worked diligently. He on the road will be in his hotel room going over scouting reports and everything he can get his hands on. Every computer printout available, Ray Knight will get. Very similar to what the Cardinals have done for years. In the dirt, they'll throw it into center field. Should have never thrown it. LaRue knows it too. Jason LaRue trying to make something out of nothing as it squirted way away from him. Off balance, his throw sailed over second base, past Larkin, past Walker into right center. So it'll go as a wild pitch, and then the error by LaRue allows the runner to advance. So advancing 2 bases on 1 play.
Sometimes it's really unfair for a catcher to get an error on throwing that ball into center field on an attempted stolen base. But that, however, is an earned error, the first one of the year for LaRue.
And here's Tino Martinez, 1 ball to him.
That's the kind that as soon as you let it go, you say, oh, I shouldn't have thrown it.
And remember, the guy down at third was the guy that Jason picked off back in the 1st inning. Reds will bring the infield in, 2 balls, no strikes. That's a strike.
Of course, the other thing that now it's easy to say is that with one out, you really don't want to make that play and get that guy over to third base where a fly ball will get him in. That's a lot to think about when you're scrambling after the ball and trying to throw a runner out.
Nub to the right side, but foul. 2-2.
Well, the same way that Simon Tachi needed a strikeout against Todd Walker last inning, Jimmy Haynes needs a strikeout right here against the Cardinals left-handed first baseman.
Breaking ball popped into center. Playing deep is Encarnacion. He won't get there, and the run will score easily. So it's a run batted in, only the 15th of the year for Tino Martinez. He'll take it. Playing deep was Encarnacion. He had a long way to come.
Yeah, and he also froze on the swing because it looks like, you know, when a guy like Tino Martinez takes a swing like this and the ball comes off his bat, your natural instinct either is to lean back, step back, or hold on for a second before you determine exactly where the ball is going to go. And I think that's what Encarnacion did. He froze for just a second, and that, you can't blame him because that ball looked like it was going farther when it came off of his bat.
So Tino delivers, and the Cardinals have taken a 2-1 lead here in the 6th. Start of play tonight. The Reds with a 3.5 game lead in the Central over Pittsburgh, 5.5 over the Cardinals. No, it's not September, not August, but it was very clear in talking to Tony La Russa and the rest of the Cardinals in the clubhouse tonight how important they think this series is. Line drive to left. Renteria adds a base hit to the mix. It's the 3rd hit in the inning. And Scott Sullivan is up and tossing in the bullpen. Out comes Bob Boone, and they will go to Sullivan. So Haynes pitches 5 great innings. Here in the 6th, the Cardinals have put together 3 hits, a wild pitch, and an error, and scored a run, and that'll be it for Jimmy Haynes. So the Reds will have to play comeback again as Scott Sullivan is on his way in. While the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
What's new? 22 times on the year Sullivan has come in. 3-0 record, a great opponent batting average of 173. He's on pace right now to appear in 103 games.
He'll face the catcher Mike Matheny, hitting 7th in the order. And there's action in the Cardinal bullpen as well. So the Cardinals have taken the lead with a run here in the 6th. It's a 2-1 ball game. They have 2 on with 1 out. Reds looking for a ground ball from Sullivan and Matheny to get them out of this jam. Gene Steckschulte is up and loosening in the bullpen for St. Louis, the Ohio native. Leadoff base hit by Pujols. A wild pitch and an error got him all the way to 3rd. Base hit scored him, and another base hit. It put runners on 1st and 2nd. Cardinals started the year like the Reds, thinking one of their strengths was their bullpen. The Reds have been bolstered by the fact their starting pitching is pitched better than expected, so the bullpen has been able to take a breather once in a while. On the Cardinals side of it, they've had nothing but train wrecks involving their starting pitching, so their bullpen has been overworked, taxed in a multitude of ways, and it suffered because of it. Reds relievers an ERA of 1.72 over the last 9 games, and overall they rank 3rd in the National League. 2-2. Sullivan thought he had it. The The guy who counts, Laz Diaz, says and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, a great pitch by Sullivan. It is right there, that land. It probably could have gone either way, maybe just missing outside. But if Matheny swings at that ball, he gets a ground ball and maybe a double play to end the inning. Key is put it right back in the same spot. Doubtful if Matheny could hold back on it.
See if Tony La Russa will send the runners. 3-2-1 out. They're going. Popped up right side. With the infield in, can somebody get there? Walker does. Second out of the inning. Infield tight, double play depth. So La Russa sends his runners. They scamper back to their bases. Bob Boone and Tony La Russa hooked up in a dandy here. That's Boone's overall record against Tony La Russa, 12-19. Four times, 4 different seasons, La Russa has won a Manager of the Year award. All of them coming in the American League. Down to third. It's a foul ball. Second game of the year for Scott. Gabe White also in that top 5 list of National League relievers with 19. Trying to get through Placido Polanco, who's been a pain in the neck to the Reds since he made his major league debut against Cincinnati in 1998. Slider down and away. 1-1. Wide, 2-1.
Well, you can see the Reds' strategy in pitching against the last 2 Cardinals by Sullivan coming in away, both to Matheny and now Polanco.
Dribble to the middle of the infield. Walker has it over to Larkin, and they'll get out of the inning. But the wild pitch in the air allowed the runner to advance to third. Scored easily on the blue pit. The Cardinals have taken a 2-1 lead, and Encarnacion will lead it off as we go to the bottom of 6. On Fox Sports Net is being brought to you by your Greater Cincinnati Ford dealers. By JTM Food Group. Satisfy your appetite with a brand you can count on, JTM. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. By Corona Beer. Relax and enjoy an ice-cold Corona Extra. And by Hyundai. Test drive the cars with America's best warranty at your Cincinnati area Hyundai dealer. Well, the 28-year-old rookie has done himself proud in his 2 starts. Family from Italy. They live in Northern California now, and he's made the most of what was a very unexpected opportunity in this year. Drilled towards the left field corner by Encarnacion. He takes a big turn. He's trying for 2. Here comes Pujols' throw. Won't be in time. And the Reds have another leadoff hitter on, this one in scoring position, Juan Encarnacion.
Well, Encarnacion has seen enough of Cimentacci to know exactly what he's going to throw up there. He's not going to be overpowering, and he gets the ball out over the plate and rakes it. I got to figure that Tony La Russa is looking at his pitcher very much in the way that Bob Boone looked at Jimmy Haynes through the first 5 or 6. If you can get 5 or 6 out of a guy like Cimentacci in his second major league start, you got to be very happy with it.
While Dave Duncan goes out to talk to his right-hander, let's go to Jeff Piccolo from an update. Pick.
Well, thanks a lot, George. You know, the Reds, who were the Reds' great road team last year, this year they've been great at home. 12-6 overall here at home, and in their last 9 games here, they're 8-1. One of the reasons is because they've had great at-bats. 294 average, they're averaging 6.5 runs a game, 13 home runs. But with runners in scoring position, tonight the Reds are 0 for 5. They're last in major leagues, 208 average. LaRue had the double that scored a run earlier, but of course Renteria was on first base, and of course they're 0 for 5 tonight. So I'd like to see Austin break that right here.
Here's Austin Kearns. Hit the ball hard twice, a line drive to center and a base hit to left. Did that get him? Yes, it did. Well, the Reds have been seeing that right along in the last week, pitching Kearns inside. Back when Kearns was flunked the other day against Milwaukee, the guy right behind him, Adam Dunn, took exception, and now Dunn can take exception with his bat here.
Well, that's nearly pitching inside. No doubt that Simontachi didn't want to hit him. He just wanted to get him off the plate. The book on Austin Kearns is that they really don't know how to pitch him yet. But they want to be able to do something so that they figure out where he's got a hole in his swing. Pound him inside till you find out if he can handle it. Now, as you saw, Tony La Russa sends his catcher, Mike Matheny, out to talk to the pitcher, waste some time, and let the relievers get warm.
Because Adam Dunn, the left-hander, is up. Mike Matthews got up and started to loosen after Steckschulte sat down. So this is the guy they would want in, the left-hander. 76 pitches now, and that'll be it. La Russa's on his way out, and they wanted to buy the extra 6 pitches for Matthews, the lone left-hander that La Russa has in his bullpen. So he'll roll the dice. It's left-handed tosser Matthews against left-handed swinger Dunn. When we return, while the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
Last year for this left-hander, Mike Matthews, 13 now on the season. He's got a pretty good run of it so far. 2.7 earned run average and a very tidy 167 opponent batting average. He pitched some pretty good baseball against the Reds last year.
So Matthews, the left-hander, will face Dunn, the left-handed swinger. Dunn 1 for 1 in his career against him. Big point in the ball game. Reds have 2 on, no 1 out. Matthews trying to coax a ground ball out of the big first baseman. Dunn trying to find a way to get the run home. In his career, Matthews 9 2/3 innings against Cincinnati. He's given up 11 hits. All Dunn wants is 1 right here. Dunn, fly ball to center to the warning track and a walk. 2 on, no outs. Low and away, ball 1. This Cardinal bullpen, and you see the numbers on Dunn, has been a monster with runners on base. One of the few Reds that's been successful on that part of the game all season long. Down and away.
Well, Adam Dunn is so assured of himself at home plate as a hitter that he rarely chases bad pitches. In fact, he is among the league leaders in most pitches seen per plate appearance. So the more that he sees of Matthews, the better hitter he will be.
Encarnacion off second, Kearns off first. And it's 3-0. Steckschulte up throwing again in the bullpen for La Russa. Steckschulte, Veers, Hackman, Mike Timlin, Isringhausen, all from the right side in the bullpen. Travis Smith normally in the bullpen, but they've penciled him in as a Sunday starter now. That's a strike. 3-1. Hey, stop by your friendly Dodge dealer. Check out the new Dodge SXTs and grab life by the horns. This Longhorn is trying to grab one here. 3 balls, 1 strike to Adam Dunn. And they're setting up away again.
You know, as a pitcher, you face a guy like Adam Dunn. He's imposing at the plate. You make a good 3-1 pitch like that. An excellent curveball by Matthews. You wish as a pitcher that he would swing at that pitch. But Dunn is not biting. He's got to come back and throw just as good a pitch on this count in order to retire him.
The old adage, what you throw on 3-1, do you throw on 3-2? We'll find out. Shakes off Matheny. Setting up away again. Here's the 3-2. Fastball down and away. And Dunn will walk. Very patient job by the young first baseman again. Dunn leads all major league rookies in walks. Rookies from last year and this year. And he shows again a good eye. So he marches down the first. The Reds now have the bases loaded with no outs, and it's up to Aaron Boone. Out comes La Russa, and Steckschulte is loose and ready. So Tony La Russa will double switch, and in comes Gene Steckschulte. So the Reds have the bags packed and loaded and ready to go. All they need is a trigger to get somebody home. Double switch by La Russa. Marrero will come in and catch. Steckschulte will come in and pitch. And while the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
Well, with the bases loaded and the right-hander up, Gene Steckschulte in for the Cardinals. This is this opportunity for the Reds as they've got nobody out in a one-run ball game. In for the 12th time. He gave up an 11th inning home run to Andrew Jones his last time that he got a decision in the ball game. He has last pitched Sunday against the Atlanta Braves.
He's become a very valuable component in this Cardinal bullpen. Last year, 67 games, pitched 2 or more innings 9 times in those 67 games. So Steckschulte comes in, the native of Lima, Ohio, now 28 years of age, trying to do what the Cardinals have had difficulty in doing, and that's keep leads late in ball games. Cardinal bullpen was really decimated by the loss of Steve Klein, who's on the disabled list right now. They hope to get him back, and that'll help solidify a bullpen that's really been overworked. 2-1 Cardinals lead. Here's Boone against Steckschulte. That's up high. You know, the Reds are very fortunate to have Scott Sullivan, who can pitch just about every day and pitch against tough right-handed hitters. Klein did the same thing against tough left-handed hitters.
He really neutralizes left-handers, and this is a different bullpen without him.
1 ball, no strikes to Boone. Aaron bounced to short and bounced into a double play. That's a strike. Cardinals keep the middle of the infield at double play depth. Tino Martinez even with the bag at first. Polanco a couple of steps deep over at third. 2-1 Redbirds. They scored in the top of the 6th. The Reds trying to score in the bottom of 6. Wide for a ball. 2-1. A lot of one-run games for Bob Boone and his Reds. The Reds have been on the smiling side most of the time in one-run affairs. They're trying to do it again here tonight. Two and one. Pop back. It'll be out of play. So with the pitcher due up, here's the Reds' record in one-run games this year, 8-5. With the pitcher due up first in the 7th, Eli Marrero, who comes into the game to catch, will bat in the 8th position. And Matheny exits, and the pitcher Steckschulte will hit in the 7th spot. 2-2. Sidearm, and he gets it.
Well, first at bat that Aaron Boone has ever had against Gene Steckschulte, and you can excuse him for being a little befuddled with that particular delivery. Steckschulte threw him overhand fastballs the entire at bat, and then finally dropped down and gave him something quirky. And that's enough to make a double pump right there. And when you do that, you're done.
So Aaron is punched out, first out of the inning, and now a double play can get him out of trouble. And with no left-handers left in the bullpen, out comes Sean Casey. Casey did not start today. Had a twinge to his hamstring day before yesterday. MRI taken of it, and he's okay, but they want to give him an extra day off. So now, with the bases loaded and 1 out, they're trying to get a base hit from number 21. And Dave Duncan will come out and talk to Steckschulte. You may have seen a moment or two ago, Casey sitting on the bench with his heavy sweatshirt on over his jersey, and he got that off pronto and got a bat and started loosening up. Big moment in this one. Schulte against Casey. Bases loaded in a one-run ball game. To center field. That'll get the run in at least. Edmonds has it, tagging at third. Here comes Encarnacion. It's a tie ball game. A bullet off the bat of Casey, and a standing ovation for him here. Bad leg and all. He drilled that one to center field, and the Reds have tied it at 2. With authority.
Well, Sean Casey can roll out of the rack and hit a line drive, and this is scalded to center field. The Reds have hit a number of balls right on the button, and a lot of them have fallen in the glove of Jim Edmonds. That one a sacrifice fly and an RBI that ties up the ball game for Sean Casey.
So that'll bring up LaRue. 2 outs now. Runners at first and second. Reggie Taylor has moved into the on-deck circle with the pitcher's spot due up next. With Mateo pinch hit more by Casey, it figures Taylor would go in anyways in the outfield. The other alternative to that would be to leave Casey in and move Dunn to the outfield, but I think they're happy with the fact they got the swing off him and don't want to test that injury. 1 ball, 1 strike. LaRue trying to come through. Fouled at the plate. And don't you know he's trying to come through. It was his error after the wild pitch that allowed what at that time was the go-ahead run to make it to third, and that runner later scored. Pujols. Double by Encarnacion. Kearns hit by a pitch. Dunn walks, and then the sacrifice fly by Casey. We're tied at 2. That's a call, strike 3. So Schulte delivers on the outside corner. LaRue punched out, but the Reds have tied it here in the 6th. Going to the 7th. Marrero due up first in a tie ball game. He had to pay for this, didn't he? Our
He's going to pay for a long time. Let me put it that way.
Rich Cope, happy birthday to you. He finally turned
old enough to pay people to hold the sign up.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, Rick.
And by the way, we want to say happy birthday too to Kyle Birch and the grounds crew. He turns 20 today. So 29 for Rich, 20 for Kyle, and here comes Gabe.
Number 20 for Gabe. He's been used an awful lot by Bob Boone. He's been in 20 now of the first 34 ball games the Reds have played, and he's on pace to have 93 on the year. Gabe White has been very good, and it's interesting how Bob Boone has used him so far. There have been instances where he comes in as that situational left-hander to face only one left-hander, but usually he's the guy that comes in that will face a left-hander and then a right-hander and then the other left-hander in the lineup. So he has done a good job, almost as good to the right-handers that he has faced as he has the left-handers.
Well, tie ball game. Here's Eli Marrero hitting in the 9th spot in the order. Marrero, at one time the Cardinals starter behind the plate. Now the first game he started behind the plate was this past week. He's played all over the place and been the primary pinch hitter from the right side for Tony La Russa. 76th at bat of the year, so you know he's been getting at bats even though he hasn't been starting behind the plate. Reggie Taylor into the ball game. Taylor's over in left. Kearns moves from left to right, and Encarnacion still in center. Mateo out of the game after Casey pinch hit the sacrifice fly in Mateo's spot. Marrero, then Vina, then Drew. high, 3 balls and 1 strike. Eli's strongest point has always been his offense. And Tony La Russa trying to find the best way to take advantage of that, and that's why he's worked him around defensively. He's a pretty good athlete, so he's been able to handle time away from behind the plate.
Good to see those two smile at each other after Las Diaz rung up Jason LaRue to end the inning. LaRue catches one off the face mask, and Las Diaz says something to him, make him smile. So the edge is off now.
Always make the home plate umpire your friend, especially if you're a catcher. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Gabe White, and there's 1 out here in the top of 7th. Hey, treat Mom to a day at the ballpark Sunday, May the 12th. The Reds take on the Cards, 1:15. You can leave the Mother's Day shopping to Cons. Cons giving Reds umbrellas to the first 10,000 women 16 and over. Compact black umbrellas open up to full size and are adorned with Reds logos. Perfect gift for Mom. Take advantage of this great gift from Cons and get Mom Reds tickets, a new umbrella too, on Sunday for Mother's Day. Here's Fernando Vina, singled and bounced out to the first baseman twice. Vina's single was past Boone, who was in a few steps in front of the bag at third, guarding against a possible bunt, and that's where Aaron is again. Last year, Vina had 29 infield hits, 14 bunt hits. One of the best bunters in the league, and he was one of the leaders in that effect too, and that's being hit by pitches. So Vina gets plunked again, and the Cardinals have the go-ahead run marching down to first base.
Kind of appropriate, George, in our pregame show Real Reds, we did a spot tonight on Inside the Stats which highlighted being hit by pitch, and the average major league game now, there is, well, 0.73 batters hit per average major league game now. We've already seen 2 in tonight's ball game. Neither of them intentional, obviously, just trying to pitch inside. The ball gets away a little too far inside and clips him.
Second time for Vina, and here's J.D. Drew. Drew walked, flied out twice. See what Tony La Russa does with Vina. With Drew, very likely he'll keep that first base hole open to try to give Vina a chance to go first to third. You could hit and run with him, but Drew has been striking out at a much more rapid pace than you'd like to with a guy you'd want to hit and run with. He's not going, heading back to first.
Last year and this year, all-time highs in frequency of batters hit by pitch.
One ball, 1 strike. Runner not going. Drill, but foul down the right field line. Drew is 1 for 2 against Gabe White. That one is a home run, and by the way, it was in the 4th major league at bat for J.D. Drew here at this ballpark. He came up his first year, and his first major league hit was that home run that he hit off Gabe White.
Off a fastball, and he's a good fastball hitter.
1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Gabe trying to keep it right where it is, a 2-2 tie.
What you like to do if you're Gabe White facing a guy like Drew is be able to hit that outside corner with a fastball and then come later in the count with the slider at the same spot.
Just missing 3-2. So we'll go full 3-2.
But until you establish yourself as a left-handed pitcher being able to hit that low and outside spot to a lefty, the hitter has no reason for chasing something bad. And Drew is very patient at the plate.
We'll see if Vina's off and running 3-2-1 out. You expect him to be. Not going, fouled at the plate. And Vina's had a lot of trouble reading White's move. On almost every pitch, he was heading back to the bag as it was delivered. Last year, Vina stole 17. He's stolen 6 this year. That's the good news. 6 stolen bases, but he's been caught 5 times. A little bit bigger lead off first this time for Vina. Not going again. Swing and a miss.
Well,
Great.
finally dropped the breaking ball on him. He pulled the string a little bit, had Drew out in front, and that's a good at bat for Gabe White.
Here's his second strikeout in the inning. Drew looking fastball, locks him up. And there's your second out. Burn me once, but don't burn me twice. Gabe White punches him out, 2 away. And here comes Pujols. What kind of a night has Albert had? A darn good night. 3 at bats, 3 base hits for Albert Pujols.
I'll tell you, if nothing else, Fernando Vina goes into the Goatee Hall of Fame.
Neatly trimmed.
Very nice.
Vina not going. Tardy on the fastball is Pujols. And it looked like just the opposite. Pujols looking for a breaking ball. Behind on the fastball, and it's strike 1. Luis Pineda up and loosening in the Cincinnati bullpen now. LaRue peeks into the dugout for some help from his bench. Strike 1. Vina off first. Runner not going. Popped up into right center field. Here comes Encarnacion. He's got it. The hit batter, no problem for Gabe White. He strands him, going to the bottom of 7. The Reds try to do some business in this 2-2 game. Game summary, 29,008, second largest crowd of the season. Good crowd on hand has seen a good baseball game. 2-2 tied as we go to the bottom of 7. Albert Pujols 3 for 3, 3 singles and a run scored. Jason LaRue 1 for 3, an RBI double in the 5th. And Sean Casey, pinch hit sacrifice fly in the 6th, has knotted this one up. We are tied at a deuce, 2-2. And the Reds will try to do some business as we head to the bottom of 7. Reggie Taylor, who entered the game in left in the 9th spot in the order, is up for the first time. 2 starters pitched great. Neither one will figure in the decision here as Reggie Taylor tries to get things going. Polanco in tied at 3rd, guarding against a possible bunt. Tino Martinez, couple of steps behind the bag at first. Gene Steckschulte delivers a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, a little high for a ball. 45th at bat of the season for Reggie Taylor. 1 homer, 6 knocked in. His job right here is get on base. From the stretch is Steckschulte. Slider, swing and a miss, 1-1. Reds baseball brought to you tonight by your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. Reggie trying to do what he did on Wednesday night. Hit his first major league homer, finished the night with a career high 3 runs batted in. He leads the Reds in stolen bases with 5, and they'd love to get him on. Taylor, then Walker, then Larkin. Todd Walker in the on-deck circle. Steckschulte, the 3rd pitcher for Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan tonight. Loop toward center field. Vina there, got it, 1 away. So Taylor's retired. Last year's Gold Glove winner at 2nd. Fernando Vina pulls it down. Vina ended a string of Reds winning the Gold Glove at 2nd. Brett Boone won it 3 years ago. The last 2 years, Pokey Reese the Gold Glove winner. And it figures to be a different vote this year because the incumbent Gold Glove winner, multi-Gold Glove winner in the American League, Roberto Alomar, is now in the National League with the Mets. Although he has started off in a rocky fashion, it figures by the time the year is over, he'll make enough spectacular plays to get a whole lot of votes for the Gold Glove. And of course, Pokey is back at second after splitting some time at second and short last year. So it should be a very interesting Gold Glove vote this year. 1-0 to Walker, fouled off for 1-1.
So if history is the case, the second baseman who hits the best will probably pick up the Gold Glove.
And most years that was true. You know, I think Pokey Reese was an exception to that last couple of years. And the former Gold Glove winner, Craig Biggio, is back. Mania led second baseman in fielding percentage as well as playing brilliantly. The two aren't necessarily the same. You can lead in a position in fielding percentage and not really be a Gold Glover. But last year he combined both of those. Two balls, two strikes. Walker trying to get the Reds started with one out in the seventh. Now we heard this week, remember the discussion in Chicago and the Cardinals alleged that Sammy Sosa was getting location from either coaches or players. I mean, the chess match continues. You saw Marrero behind the plate. He tapped his glove on the inside part of the plate and then set up away, trying to confuse Walker to make it seem like he was setting up inside. Then he set up away. This time he just sets up away.
I think Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan give hitters way too much credit.
You're right. And I don't know. I mean, as long as I've been a part of the game, if you could steal a sign, you stole a sign.
Oh, sure.
That's not cheating. That's if your catcher does not cover his signs well enough, and a coach can steal them, fine. And if you're smart enough to steal them at second.
Well, it was on a particular pitch that Matt Morris threw inside to Sammy Sosa, and Sammy Sosa raked it for a home run, and they both said, boy, there's no way that Sosa should have hit that pitch. It was such a good pitch. And, you know, Sosa's got 460 home runs. That's what Don Baylor replied, and he said, hey, we're not stealing, you know, if we were stealing signs, we would do it for Augie O'Hagan. Sammy Sosa doesn't need help. So, you know, I don't know. Sometimes you wonder, over preparation over there in the Cardinal dugout gets these guys thinking in strange ways. But I'm not so sure every hitter's so worried about where the catcher's setting up that he's going to, you know, bet everything he can on leaning out over the plate, because that next pitch might be in your ear. Especially with two strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Call strike 3 on the inside corner. Walker's punched out, and he knew it. He headed to the dugout. For Steckschulte, that's his 3rd strikeout since coming on. Hey, it's the show that's changing the face of sports television, the best sports show period. Tonight, Nomar Garcia-Parra gives us the inside scoop on the Red Sox success. Plus, we give Bulls forward and car wash owner Charles Oakley a lesson on how fun a car wash can be. And our own NBA analyst, Ozzy Osbourne, breaks down the NBA playoffs. Best sports show period tonight after Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net. 2 away, and here's Larkin. Barry singled and bounced out twice. You talk to veteran players, and Big Red Machine a great example of it, or for that matter, the Oakland A's of the 70s and the Oakland A's of the 80s. They played together so long. Larkin bounces this to short, and that'll do it. We'll talk more about that later. The Reds go quietly 1-2-3 in the 7th, still tied at 2. Heading to the 8th. Edmonds has already been a thorn in the side for the Reds, is due to lead it off. Top of 8, tied at 2. Jim Edmonds, Tino Martinez, and Edgar Renteria, 4, 5, and 6 for St. Louis. Strike 1, breaking ball to Edmonds. Singled in the Cardinals' first run in the first, bounced into a 1-6-3 double play on a great defensive play by Jimmy Haynes, and popped out to third in the 6th.
He went around, strike 2. Edmonds has 8 homers and 23 knocked in. You figure that Gabe White, who came on and pitched the 7th, will deal to Edmonds and Martinez, and then the right-hander Renteria comes in after that. But very definitely you want him to face the 2 left-handers here. Off the bench, the Cardinals have Kerry Robinson, the left-handed pinch hitter. Good on-base percentage guy, slap hitter, but not a home run threat. Also on the bench, Miguel Cairo, Mike DeFelice, and Eduardo Perez. Drill to right. Here comes Kearns. Got it. Full dose of the lights for Austin Kearns, but he handled them well. 1 away.
Pretty good swing Jim Edmonds put on that slider from Gabe White. It was a sinking line drive. You battle the lights, you battle the trajectory of the ball. That ball was also stung pretty good, but boy, Austin Kearns has proved himself in the outfield.
Part of every new ballpark and every new experience for any new player is learning it, and the lights at Synergy are certainly one of them. Whole new dimension next year with new Great American Ballpark. Here's Tino. Dave Veers is up and tossing in the bullpen for St. Louis. Tino tonight bounced to the first baseman twice and then plunked a bloop base hit into center his last time up that gave the Cardinals a brief 2-1 lead. Also in the National League today, Milwaukee beat the Cubs 6-4. Ray King the winner, Borowski the loser. Mike DeJohn had his 7th save. Jeffrey Hammonds hit his 3rd homer. Tyler Houston hit his 1st. Richie Sexson hit his 10th. Houston 1 for 4. Girardi 4 for 5 in the losing effort for Chicago. Now in the 9th, Montreal 6 and San Francisco 2 north of the border. David Bell has hit his 4th home run. Fernando Tatis is 2nd for Montreal. 2 balls, 1 strike to Tino. 2-2. Danny Graves up and loosening in the bullpen now for Cincinnati. At Philadelphia tonight, Phillies lead Arizona 2-0. Padilla had a no-hitter through 5, a 1-hitter through 8. Philadelphia 2-0 over Arizona, and they've gotten it righted this week. LaRue held it. Graves looked, but no call from the home plate umpire, so it's full 3-2. Pittsburgh 5, Houston 1. They're going to the 9th inning now at Pittsburgh. Kevin Young is homered, his 3rd. Ensberg 2nd for the Astros. At Florida, Marlin scored single runs in the 1st and 2nd. Trying to beat Ishii for the first time. Nobody's done it. Burnett going for his 6th win. It's 2-1 Florida over Los Angeles in the 7th in South Florida. Colorado just put a 5 spot on the board in the 6th at Shea Stadium. 9-2 over the Mets. They lead it. Todd Helton 2 home runs in that one. That's ball 4 and Tino walks. Gabe White said I had to have at least one of those 2 pitches. It was a strike. Didn't get the call. And it's his 1st walk issued. Hey, take a road trip down south to see the Reds and Rangers in Arlington, Texas. 5-day, 4-night Red Rooters trip takes you to beautiful San Antonio for a stroll along Riverwalk, tour of the Alamo and more. Then you'll head to the ballpark in Arlington for 2 games, 2 nights at the Wyndham Hotel. The Arlington San Antonio Air Tour is June the 11th through the 15th. So book your reservations today. Call Provident Travel 1-800-354-8108 or locally 247-1100. So White stays in for the 2 left-handers, gets 1 out, walks the other. And while the pitching change takes place and Danny Graves comes in, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
The 8th inning, Bob Boone goes with his trump card. Danny Graves, a closer. He is 11 for 14 make it in saves and save opportunities. And he'll come into a tie ball game with a man on.
Checks his defense. Wilton Guerrero comes in the double switch. He'll come in for Walker. So Graves would enter the game in the leadoff spot. And Guerrero enters for the pitcher. Renteria sends it to right, curving towards the line. Long run. That is a fair ball and gone. One pitch, and Edgar Renteria touches Danny Graves for a 2-run home run. And the Cardinals have taken a 4-2 lead here in the 8th inning. Renteria in his career was 5 for 11 against Graves. Make it 6 for 12 with this swing.
Wow, talk about a batter owning a pitcher. Well, he just goes with that pitch. We have seen that sweeping swing so many times, but usually it's a line drive base hit to right field, not one that drops over the outfield fence. Talk about going out the back door.
Edgar Renteria's second homer of the year. Now 20 runs batted in. So Renteria off to a good offensive start. He punishes the Reds here, and it's a lead for St. Louis. Kerry Robinson pinch hitting in the pitcher spot, 7th in the order. Renteria delivers. Two of the lighter hitting Cardinals have been two of the most productive Cardinals thus far this year. Renteria and Matheny both off to good offensive starts. That's a call, strike 3. Robinson retired. Second out of the inning. Boy, fans didn't even have a chance to get settled. Neither did Danny Graves. One pitch and Zippo down the right field line. Austin Kearns gave chase, was waiting for a carom off the wall. It just cleared the wall right at the foul pole. Didn't clear it by more than a foot. And here's Polanco. Graves has it. The throw off the base.
Oh, what a nice bunt by Polanco. He just lays it down there in no man's land. Graves make a tremendous attempt on this, but the throw just pulls Adam Dunn off the bag. And if the big 6'6" first baseman can't stretch and get it, it's off the bag and awarded a base hit for Polanco.
Base hit for Polanco. And here's Eli Marrero hitting in the 9th spot in the order. American League scoreboard. In the 7th, Baltimore 6, Tampa Bay 3. In the 7th, at Kansas City, Indians trail the Royals 3-0 in the 6th. At Minnesota, Twins lead the Yankees 3-1 in the 4th. At Texas, they're scoreless, Detroit and the Rangers in the 6th inning. White Sox, Anaheim, Toronto, Oakland, Boston, Seattle still to come. Your scoreboard update. By the way, that last National League game, update on it now. San Diego leading Atlanta 3-2. They are now in the top of the 8th inning at Atlanta. Reds trailed 1-0. They tied it. Trailed 2-1. They tied it, and now trail 4-2. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. Chris Rietsma goes against Darryl Kyle. Elmer DeSanz will go for the Reds on Sunday. And then it's 4 games in Milwaukee and then 3 in St. Louis as the Reds hit the road. Loop to center field. That'll drop for a hit. Charging is Encarnacion. They'll hold the runner at second. So the 3rd hit of the inning against Danny Graves. The homer, the bunt hit, and this single to center. Back to the top of the order, Fernando Vina. That base hit by Marrero in his 2nd at bat ends an 0 for 30 funk for Eli Marrero. 2 on, 2 out for Graves. Pavina. Fernando tonight singled and scored in the first. Bounced to first twice and was hit by a pitch in the 7th and left stranded. On the inside corner, Vigna doesn't like the call.
Las Diaz has had a pretty liberal strike zone on that first base side of home plate. He is right over the right shoulder of the catcher and's got a pretty good view. That's the side of the plate that there's really not a lot of guesswork on the part of the umpire. I mean, he's got a direct line right over the shoulder, right on line on that black edge of the plate. It's the ones on the outside corner that's a little more guesswork. You don't have quite the perspective. That's where Danny Graves wants to keep it on Vigna. Reggie Taylor, the Reds left fielder, playing way in left field, trying to prevent that blue pit that Vigna will do from time to time in the left.
One ball, 2 strikes. Hit to right field. It'll stay in the park. Kearns there. He's got it, but the damage done. First pitch that Danny Graves threw. Renteria delivered over the right field wall. It's now a 4-2 lead for St. Louis. Reds go to work. Encarnacion will lead it off.
Dave Veers into the bottom of the 8th inning. Veers in for the 16th time on the year. He is the former closer for the Cardinals. He was a closer last year, led the team in saves with 15. Same for the previous 2 years at 29 and 31, but now with Jason Isringhausen on the pitching staff, Veers is a setup guy and a very good one.
It's funny, when the year started, the Cardinals thought they had an overload in the bullpen, both in terms of arms and in terms of money, and they put Mike Timlin and Dave Veers on the trading block and entertained discussions about trading one or both of them. It's a good thing they didn't, because they've been there to try to keep this Cardinal ship afloat during a time when the starters have gone down. Veers, whatever you want him to do, he'll do it. He'll set up, he'll go long, he'll close for you. As a Cardinal, 45 career saves. And here he faces Encarnacion.
Even though he's a setup man, he's being paid closer money, $4.25 million between he and Isringhausen. $7 million are going to those two guys at the back end of this bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike, down and away. It looked almost assuredly in April that the Cardinals would deal him. And still, before it's all said and done against the Reds, 10 saves in his career. Once they get the ship righted, they probably will. Hit pretty good to center field, but not in Edmonds territory. That's the 6th ball he's caught right about in that same spot. You talk about pitching to the big part of the ballpark. The whole Cardinal staff has done that tonight, and that's why a Gold Glover like Edmonds is so valuable. 4 Gold Gloves, and he's earned it tonight.
Well, you know, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, a very difficult ballpark to hit out to center field unless you're Mark McGuire type hitter, and same way it is here at Synergy Field tonight. A little bit cool. The ball carried well in the first inning, it seemed like, but since that time, George, it's gotten cooler. The air heavier, I guess, and it's almost keeping the ball in the ballpark. These balls have been well hit, kind of like Dodger Stadium way it gets cool out there.
So Encarnacion's 1 for 3, a double, and he scored a run in the 8th. Here's Kearns, lined out, singled to left, and hit by a pitch. Reds need some base runners. Jim Brower up and loosening in the bullpen for Cincinnati. It's the meat of the order right here. Passed the shortstop Renteria into center. Base hit Austin Kearns. The hits just keep on ringing off Austin Kearns' bat. One out and one on. The Reds will bring the tying run to the plate. It is Adam Dunn.
We'll talk about the impression that a young player leaves on the opposing manager. He has done it with each and every team that he has faced, and I'm sure Tony La Russa no different after he sees his first look of Austin Kearns, saying, yep, just as advertised. 3 hard hit balls on the night, 2 knocks, and an on base by a hit by pitch.
And it's another first look here for Adam Dunn. First time he's had a chance to face Dave Veers. Duncan wants to make sure that they're all on the same page. Isringhausen, of course, in the bullpen as the closer. They could bring him in. Fox Sports Net welcomes our viewers watching on TSC TV in Wapakoneta, Ohio, and Williamston Cable TV in Williamston, Kentucky. Thanks for watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net, and welcome aboard. There's Izzy. Jason Isringhausen, the one-time Met phenom and then Oakland closer, signed as a free agent in the offseason. Dunn takes a strike. And the scouting report and what his teammates are telling Dunn about Veers is he'll try to get ahead of you and then make you go fishing for the split finger. Dunn, fly ball to center, walk and walk. There's some guys who just help make a bullpen, and Dave Veers is one of those guys. He's just a grinder. He doesn't blow you away with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Has a pretty good split finger, but he'll find a way to get people out. Setting up away is Marrero. One and two. Adam sure has, hasn't he? Trying to do it again for Cincinnati. They expect him to stay away. Two. The two young guys have fueled this red surge. Kearns base hit gets it started. They're hoping Dunn can keep it rolling.
Nasty. You're right, George. You threw him one fastball on that at bat. Everything else is that split finger pitch that goes down and away to a left-hander. Very tough. If you haven't been used to seeing this pitch, you swing at the arm action first of all, and then that ball has the tail away, kind of like a screwball. You think you're on top of it, and all of a sudden it disappears.
They got the out he wanted. That's your second out, and now it's right-hander against right-hander. Aaron Boone against Dave Veers. Boone 1 for 2 in his career against this right-hander. Tonight grounded into a double play and struck out looking. 0 for 3 is Aaron. The average down to 208. Veers trying to keep it where it is, and out comes La Russa, so he won't wait any longer. He got the guy that he really wanted him to get, and that was Dunn, because Veers better suited to get the left-hander. He did, and they'll call on Izzy. So Jason Isringhausen, the closer, will come in. Aaron Boone will have to deal with him. La Russa wants this win bad, and he's calling his closer in to try to do it. While the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Net.
For this Cardinal pitching staff, Jason Isringhausen has 6 of them. He's 6 for 7 overall. The flame-throwing right-hander coming over from the Oakland A's as a free agent in the offseason. This guy has really solidified their bullpen. And boy, look at the strikeout to innings pitched ratio. 27 punch-outs in 19 innings.
Those Reds that have faced Isringhausen in the past really haven't faced this Jason Isringhausen. After rehabbing from arm surgery, he just got stronger and stronger over the last 3 years. And now, with 2 away, he's called upon to get Aaron Boone. Boone, 2 for 4 in his career against Isringhausen, but again, that's not the same guy you're going to see out there today.
Well, they knew they had a pretty good arm when he was back with the Mets, but hey, 99 miles an hour? That's rushing it up there.
Isringhausen, Pulsifer, Wilson, those are the 3 guys that the Mets had labeled in the mid-90s as their future pitching staff. All 3 of them had arm difficulties. Isringhausen and Wilson have come back big time this year. Wilson is a starter for Tampa Bay, and Isringhausen is a closer here. There goes Kearns, hit pretty good to right. Does he have enough? Towards the corner, it's going to be gone. No, it's foul. Just around the pole in the corner. It curved at the last minute, went foul by no more than about a foot. Aaron Boone tried to duplicate what Edgar Renteria did. Take a look. Kept curving and curving.
Aaron Boone thought he may have had it, maybe from his perspective, yes, but Randy Marsh right down the first baseline had a good call on that one.
Been a tough night for Randy Marsh down the line. A couple of balls right down the line. Aaron Boone almost had these 2 teams back in a tie game. Now it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Foul back, 2-2.
Yeah, it's a good sign to see Aaron Boone hit that ball with that much authority to right field. One of the problems with his batting stroke has been he's been pulling off the ball so badly, but you hit the ball to right field with that kind of a swing and you're getting back on the beam.
Isringhausen will have to work more than an inning for this save, and the Reds are trying to get to him here. 4-2 Cardinals, bottom of 8. There goes the runner. Here's a bouncer to short. Renteria has it. The throw to first will be in time, and Isringhausen gets the final out of the 8th. And the Cardinals hold on to their 2-run lead. It's a 4-2 Cardinal lead. We're heading to the 9th.
Formerly the long man out of the bullpen, Jim Brower now comes in for the 9th inning, in for the 12th time. He's been good his last few times out. He has given up only 1 run in his last 3 games, 5 2/3 appearances and innings.
Jimmy Haynes went 5 1/3, allowed 8 hits and 2 runs. Sullivan went 2/3 of an inning. Gabe White an inning and a third. Danny Graves 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits and 1 run. Here's J.D. Drew to lead it off. A bouncer to Dunn. One hands it. And there's your first out of the 9th inning. Brower's 12th game, 21 innings pitched. And here comes Albert Pujols. 3 hits and 4 at bats tonight in the first inning. A base hit to right keeps the Cardinal rally going. In the 3rd inning, a base hit the other way to left. And in the 6th inning, another base hit. This one set the stage for an inning where the Cardinals took a 2-1 lead. So 3 for 4 for last year's Rookie of the Year in the National League, Albert Pujols, in at 282 now.
Well, he's got a nice level swing. You saw it on each and every one of those base hits. One to right, one to left. Line drive down the left field line. Outstanding swing.
There's some pitchers that like a lot of rest and don't like to pitch often. There are others who would rather pitch almost every other day, and you'd put Danny Graves in that category. Not to make excuses for Graves, he won't when the game is over, but Graves had not pitched since Monday when he earned a save. So after 4 days off, he came in and he was higher in the strike zone than you usually see him, and it cost him.
Yeah, it did, George, but still in all, when a guy hits you opposite field on the first pitch he sees coming into a ball game, I mean, that's some preparation on the part of Edgar Renteria. Almost inclined to tip your hat and say, hey, nice job to the hitter. It's not like he left the ball out in the middle of the plate and the guy crushed it over the left field wall.
Renteria's burned a lot of people, including the Reds, a lot of time like that. Pujols grounds out to Aaron Boone, 2 away.
Hard to do, however, when it's a tie ball game.
Here's Edmonds, singled in the first run, 1 for 4 on the day, but Edmonds has spent most of the night chasing down fly balls at the warning track in center. Game 1 of a 3-game set. Tomorrow, Chris Rietzma goes for his second win against Darryl Kyle. Kyle, a rare breed in the Cardinal clubhouse, a starting pitcher that's been able to stay healthy. This, of course, came after his surgery in the offseason, so they've kind of nursed him along, and it's great to see him back and throwing the way he's capable of. So Kyle goes tomorrow against Chris Rietzma, who's had a couple of brilliant starts for the Reds. Look out, club to right, curving. It will go foul by about 8 feet. Well, Randy Marsh has had a night. Every time he turns around, he's heading down the line looking for the foul pole.
Well, tomorrow he'll be behind the plate. He probably can't wait for a day off. He said tougher calls down at first base than most home plate umpires having tonight. He's gotten every one of them right.
No balls, 2 strikes to Edmonds. Right down the pike. 1, 2, 3 for Brower. That's one half of it. The other half of it comes in the bottom of 9. Can the Reds rally? Stay with us. Wilton Guerrero will lead it off. It's changing the face of sports television, the best sports show period. Tonight, Nomar's back. He gives us the inside scoop on the Red Sox success. Plus, we give Bulls forward and car wash owner Charles Oakley a lesson on how fun a car wash can be for one of the NBA's best rebounders. And our own NBA analyst Ozzy Osbourne breaks down the NBA playoffs. You got it. Get ready after Reds baseball tonight. Three outs away from victory. Jason Isringhausen and the Cardinals. Isringhausen delivers to Wilton Guerrero for strike 1. Guerrero, then LaRue is on deck. The Reds have already used their 2 left-handed pinch hitters to start the night, Taylor and Casey. Guerrero, the switch hitter, in there now. So still available Dawkins, Clark, and Miller off the bench for Cincinnati. Down to second, Vigna has it. Forget it. There's out number 1. Wilton's retired, and here's LaRue. Yes, it's only May, but with the way the season has started for the Cardinals, starting the night 5.5 back in the Central Division, and 4 games under 500, and 6 in the loss column to the Reds, Tony La Russa understands full well the importance of these 2 series. The Cardinals know they're going to get their pitching back, some of it at least. So if they can stay in 3 or 4 games at first until they get them back, then they've probably considered that they've done their job and they can make a second half push. One strike to LaRue, who's flied out, doubled in a run, and struck out.
Well, as important as the Cardinals series against the Reds here in Cincinnati is, I think it's very important for the Reds over the next 10 days to play the Cardinals tough. You know, they play them 7 times in 10 days, and you got to figure that it's a statement that the Reds would like to make that, hey, we are contenders as well. I think the Reds team believes it, but until you get through the entire division, you're not really sure what to expect. And what they should expect from Jason Isringhausen is gas and more gas. 98 miles an hour. That fastball, he throws it right by LaRue. This guy doesn't leave many doors open, does he?
Come a long way back from arm surgery. First time he bounced back from the surgery, they shut him down, came back again. In fact, one of his first appearances was against the Reds, AAA, up in Indianapolis. Little by little, he's worked himself back to being a dominant closer again. Here's Taylor. Reggie popped to second his first time up. 2 balls and no strikes. It's in there 2-1. The roar you heard was from a paper airplane, not just an ordinary paper airplane, but about a 4-footer that went from the right field upper deck all the way down behind home plate. That's somebody's science project. It was pretty good. To Tino. Well, maybe he's not hitting, but Tino gets what he's supposed to get. Short hops the ball, and the Cardinals have taken the first of 3. The final 4-2, 4-11-0 for St. Louis, 2-7-1 for the Reds. More to talk about when we return to Synergy Field. The Cardinals a 4-2 lead in the top of the 8th. It was enough to give them a victory over Cincinnati in the first meeting of these two teams this year. Our Ohio Lottery instant replay. Tino might not hit, Chris, but he can do this.
I'll tell you what, that ball right at him, a short hop, that's the one the Cardinals are looking for, out number 27.
Second largest crowd of the year, 29,008, 3 hours and 3 minutes of baseball. Cardinals win at 4-2. Don't forget, game 2 of the series, Chris Rietzma against Darryl Kyle tomorrow will be on the air with Real Reds at 12:30. The game will follow on this night. The Cardinal bullpen beat the Reds bullpen. The offense was there for St. Louis, and they win it by a final score of 4-2. We'll be with you tomorrow for game 2 of the series. For Chris Welch, our entire crew, this is George Grant. Good day, everybody. See you at the ballpark.